Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Comic Book Curation. I am Polly, and joining me, as always, a day late, but on time nonetheless, is Inquisitor 8.1. Quiz, how are you?
I was ready yesterday, but we're good. We're good. We're still good.
We had problems yesterday. It's fine.
I know.
You speaking, yes, we too did. And speaking of the other of the two, of we, is the third member of our Triumvirate of Awesome, Jack from Bad Comic Reviews. Jack, how are you doing today? Problem solved?
Better than yesterday. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing good. Actually, I'm doing much better than yesterday. Technical problems have been addressed. So here we are today, and we certainly appreciate our awesome audience for being patient with us and showing up a day late.
It's personal problems. Don't ask. It's fine.
No, they were technical problems, not personal problems.
Well, your problems are technical and personal.
Well, God damn it. I don't even want to know what you meant by that. It doesn't even make sense, but I'm fine with it. It's cool. So you asked how I'm doing, Jack. You want to really know how I'm doing?
Sure.
I am sick of talking about fucking Captain Marvel, but more than that, I am sick of Brie Larson's face. That's how I am.
Fair enough.
I'm blissfully ignorant because I didn't go see this stupid movie.
You know, it's not even the movie that did it to me. It's the endless coverage, the endless talking about it. And for me, it's like, I was kind of getting tired of it. But really, what really pushed me over the edge was reading this article today in the New York Times. And its headline was, I thought it was going to be good because, well, passable, not good, was the headline, which was words to the effect of, Captain Marvel is targeted, so the rules changed. And I was like, oh, so this is going to be about Rotten Tomatoes and the whole thing. And this is New York Times, and they're really supposedly qualified journalists and really good at what they do in terms of investigating things. Perhaps we're going to get some information out of this. This was an article from the 13th, so yesterday. It did nothing to forward information that wasn't available in 100 other places. It was an aggregate article. No new information except to summarize what had happened over the past 3 weeks or month. No new information, no investigation done. This person not only didn't need to leave their desk to write this, they could have sat on their toilet and typed this motherfucker out on their phone. That's how bad it was. And it used all the old tactics, like it talked about strong feminist film and alt-right fuckboys not understanding when Brie Larson was just wanting things to be more inclusive. Just the same stories. And we've heard all these things. What is new here? Well, what's new, I was able to garner away from it anyway, is maybe there's some people in our reading circle of the New York Times that haven't been indoctrinated to our view of things yet. So let's do that. However, it did have two approaching new things in it, both of them that failed. Two sentences. One that said we tried contacting Brie Larson's representatives to get their thoughts on this. They didn't get back to us. And we tried getting a hold of Disney's representatives to get their thoughts. They also didn't get back to us. So they failed with this story to do anything new, but they did attempt to email or call two people, but it failed because no one got back to them. So yeah. That was the New York Times contribution to the whole Captain Marvel thing.
It's like, you know, when they say, oh, we tried to reach out, it just means that they didn't feel important enough to be lied to. That's all it is.
Ouch.
Yeah.
And I say, well, we were definitely going to be talking about it yesterday. The dude that played Agent Coulson.
Oh yeah. And
his whole spiel. I say this is the sort of thing that especially people that are trying to get into the whole comicsgate thing are having to deal with, right? Is the fact that what is the reaction when people say, I don't like how you're promoting Captain Marvel? Captain Marvel. Johnny Hellcat said Clark Craig. Yeah, that's his name, Clark Craig. How do you deal with these people? Because the thing about it was Clark Craig immediately comes down with people don't like Captain Marvel. Why don't they like Captain Marvel? Well, someone, a little earwig, put it in his brain saying, Well, they just don't like it because it's a woman. Who the fuck ever said that?
No one.
So there's got to be someone that's feeding him misinformation, because he absolutely didn't fucking look it up himself.
No, he didn't. Like, where were you getting that? I don't like this movie specifically because there's a woman in the lead. And he went on into, Greg went on to say, yeah, we'll talk about the Nerdist in just a second. Greg, who is on the YouTube channel for the Nerdist, which is also a website, www.nerdist.com/falling into obscurity and irrelevance. Yes, that's really their URL. Go figure. He made mention of that as like, imagine being that, Paleolithic of a thinker, or words to that effect, stumbling off as a dinosaur to the tar pits, where you don't want someone else to have a hero that looks like them, even after some 20 odd movies of heroes who look like you. So who are you talking towards when you say that, Greg? Clearly you're talking to a bunch of, cishet white males, blah, blah, blah. Where did you find an article where somebody was saying that, or a quote or a tweet or whatever the fuck, that Captain Marvel's a woman and I don't like women superheroes? Where the fuck did you read that? No, you didn't. I agree with you, Quiz. Somebody told them that.
Yeah.
You didn't read that anywhere yourself.
Yeah, because there's no, the thing about it is, like, it would be different if it actually was that was the argument, but it's not. No one has ever made that argument, dude. No one.
No, I certainly haven't. And what was funny is we were talking before we went live there for a second, waiting for Jack to show up. And
yeah, that's it.
Well, we got to spend the time some way, Jack. So we end up talking about comics and stuff. Go figure. We're talking about DC and the upcoming things that they have and so forth. And I was saying a movie that, we're talking about how well Aquaman had done for them and so forth. Mm-hmm. And what's coming next, and hopefully it'll be good. And I said, well, Wonder Woman 1984 is coming, and I'm really looking forward to that. And then I cracked this joke about, oh, wait a minute, I really got to learn to not like that movie because I'm not supposed to like female superheroes. Because it's like, seriously, nobody has, that's not the fucking problem, and it never was. How many times I don't even know why I say that. There's a reason the stream today, I called it Disney is great at monetizing politics. Because this film, as every tentpole film is that Marvel puts out, is a massive expenditure for them. Thousands of people involved in the production and the promotion of it. It is a massive corporate enterprise. It is not based in politics. It's just not a political move for them. Can some people stick some politics in it? Can they hire a bad director? Yeah, take a look at Ghostbusters and witness the result when you hire an idiotic director to do stupid things. But the idea that a massive corporation like Disney is interested in changing the political landscape or something. No, they're not. They're interested in making movies. When you see politics in a movie, it's because they think those politics will make the movie successful, because some moron in their company lied to them and told them that it was. Don't believe for a second that Marvel Studios or its parent company Disney told Brie Larson to go shoot her mouth off and say stupid shit. Nobody told her to be stupid. She just is stupid. She's dumb on her own point. But all of the protection that they offered and that they afforded to Brie Larson, because what are they going to say? Oh, well, yeah, she's the actress we hired for this film, but we hired her, we signed the contracts with her 5 seconds after she won that Oscar for Room. And that's why we signed her. We didn't know that she was going to be this moron. They're not going to say that. They're going to say, no, she's a brilliant woman, and what's wrong with female equality? But that's not what she was asking for, and that wasn't the core of her stupid statements, was it?
No.
Remember that interview of her standing there when the interviewer comes up to her? The interviewer is a black woman and says, what's it like being a woman in Hollywood? And Brie, let's keep in mind, we're talking about the millionaire from Southern California, the blonde hair, blue-eyed woman that would be right out of a 1938 German poster for the ideal Aryan woman. Okay. Dressed on the red carpet in a gown that would pay for your fucking student debt, Quiz.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And what she what's it like being a woman in Hollywood? And she leans over and goes, well, it's really hard. Were her exact words. And then she realizes, holy shit, this is a black woman asking me this. Well, better turn into a shield real quick. She goes, but I have to imagine it's a lot harder being a black woman. Like you're a moron. You fell ass backwards into this career you have now, didn't you? Didn't you?
And say all I gotta say is, Peter said here, so oppressed. I'll take some of that oppression. Hey, Bree, you want to give up your privilege? I'll take some of that money there. I'll be oppressed on your behalf.
Right?
Give me all your money, and then you can feel morally superior because then you don't have that privilege anymore. How about it, Bree? How about it, Bree? I'll email you my bank account information. You can have it wired over. Then you can have all the oppression you want. And you can alleviate yourself of your privilege.
I forgot one thing in the little ramble that I went off describing her. She's named after Poncy French cheese.
Yeah.
I mean, my God, this fucking woman, and this is the person who runs around talking about how oppressed she is and how hard life is and how patriarchy's knocking at her door. Literally, if those of you didn't know that was a joke she cracked. Fucking FedEx shows up at her door in the middle of an interview. When she goes and sits back down, the interviewer asked her, "Oh, who was that?" She goes, "Oh, that was just the patriarchy." Like, are you out of your fucking mind? And somehow this Aryan goddess has been elected to speak on behalf of the LGBT POC community. I must have missed that memo. So anyway, yeah, I'm fucking tired of talking about Captain Marvel, man. Oh my God.
So let's talk about actual Captain Marvel then.
Yeah, let's talk about fun Captain Marvel, i.e. Shazam.
Well, for those not in the know, I got this on the newsletter for DC. You can actually go and see Shazam 2 weeks before its release. Not this weekend, but next weekend, March 23rd, in select theaters. There's only 2 times, 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. But yeah, they're offering it early screenings. They also have like comics and stuff like that they'll be giving away for free. Yeah, I've already gone and got my tickets.
So now this is the thing. I wasn't clear about this. You signed up for like a lottery kind of thing where you might be chosen, or you've got your tickets, you're going to see it 2 weeks early?
Oh, no, I've got my tickets.
Ah, jelly. Confirmed. That's awesome, yeah. Man.
I'll say, like I said, you can go on to. Here's the only real problem, right? As much as we bagged on Rotten Tomatoes for the whole Captain Marvel bullshit that they pulled, Fandango is the exclusive provider for these tickets. So you're gonna have to go and pay Fandango to be able to go and see Captain Marvel early. But you know what, Captain Marvel, or no, I keep saying Captain Marvel. Yeah, it stands because it's the real Captain Marvel. He says Shazam. It's yeah, they have it fully up on the website.
So the for chat and for everybody listening in the future, if they just go to the Fandango site, they'll see an obvious link to click on and get this deal.
Yeah, I can even link it to the chat.
Sweet. Yeah, I'm sure some people are interested in that. And speaking of people that are in chat and listening in the future, if you like this stream, please feel free to press link. And if you're not subscribed and you're interested in the content, by all means, do so. I was looking at this article. We were talking about it before we went live here. Unfortunately, it's from Variety, but you got to deal with shill media sometimes, guys. There's no way around it. Box office, Shazam, eyes 40 million plus opening weekend. I mean, just look how fun this fucking picture is. I love this. This movie does look to be legit fun. If you guys haven't seen the trailer, you should go check it out. It just looks like a gang of fun, like a kid getting superpowers. And I mean, come on. Warner Brothers Shazam could grow as much as 40 million in ticket sales when it hits North American theaters on April 5th. Early tracking suggests. Early tracking, yeah. I mean, you can believe early tracking when the star of your film doesn't go around racially and sexually insulting the entire portion of the audience. But anyway, moving on.
Well, I think it's kind of funny about Shazam is that there have been like almost no interviews or anything about Shazam. None that I've seen or heard. They're letting the trailers speak for themselves, and they do because they're really, really good.
Yeah, that movie looks fun. It doesn't have to be deep. It just has to be fun, and it looks all ages. You can take your kids to this.
Yeah. The movie follows Billy Batson, played by Asher Angel, a teenager who transforms into a bubblegum poppin' superhero, Zachary Levi, when someone says the magic word. Magic word's Shazam, by the way. Described as a cross-section between Big and Superman. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
That makes me want to see it even more. Okay. Shazam looks to be a lighter, more comical approach compared to DC's less beloved Justice League adventures. Yeah. But if you get rid of Zack Snyder and Will Smith, 90% of the problems disappear. Moving on. Shazam is the product of a multi-year course correct, and DC Entertainment as the studio attempts to fashion an alternative to the Ironclad. Okay, Shazam comes on the heels of Aquaman, the studio's aquatic adventure that rocked the box office with a massive $1.14 billion worldwide. What? Worldwide what? Take? You didn't finish the sentence. Anyway, Shazam doesn't... Shazam doesn't
box office gross.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't say that.
I know. It's implied.
I'm just being a little scribe light over here. It's fine.
No, it's fine.
Let's see. Shazam doesn't need to reach those heights to become a hit. It carries an $80 million production budget. Really? 80 mil? That's it. Good for you guys.
Yeah, right.
Cheap.
Yeah, well, I know. 80 million is a cheap movie. Imagine saying these words.
Right.
Before accounting for marketing and distribution, less than half of what it costs to make Aquaman. Like Aquaman, Warner Brothers is building buzz for Shazam by giving comic book nuts a chance to see the movie on the big screen 2 weeks ahead of its official release, like our friend Inquisitor. The studio partnered with Fandango to offer advanced screening in 1,200 locations on March 23rd. Here we go. So yeah, we're going to be pestering Quiz for a spoiler-free review early. I looked on Fandango, and there's no... theaters that are showing it. There are some close by me, but not reasonably close by me. And I'm a lazy man, so you know. I can wait to see it, and I'll have fun pestering you for your thoughts anyway. You know.
Okay.
Cynical Lindsay says if Marvel keeps it up, it'll end up being a little bitch to DC. I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, you think that would be the way with comics, but like they can, in mega corporations, you can out distribute the competition. You know what I mean?
Well, Marvel hasn't been profitable in a very long time. DC has. So like DC still is like there are times, like some months on what was it, Comixology, where you'll see Marvel topping the monthly charts, but it's always it's consistent. We've said it a lot on this show several times, saying how number ones and new releases, new miniseries. Miniseries is big with a question mark because they don't start off as miniseries. Everyone always it's like it's still the spectator boom, the speculator boom.
Right.
Yep.
Because everyone always buys number ones and then they don't buy any issues after it. It's nuts, but yeah, like that's the only time you ever see Marvel beating out DC on Comixology is when they release a new number one or an anticipated crossover event before it falls flat on its fucking face, like the Venomverse did.
Yeah. Cynical Lizzie just said, I don't know, Paul. Excuse me. I don't know, Polly. Wonder Woman and Aquaman killed it at the box office. Like in terms of them like screwing over the MCU, like Marvel Studios. Yeah, I see your point, and it's. No. I am certain the people that have their jobs and contracts and etc. riding on the success of a particular cinematic universe or a particular studio will just tell themselves whatever they need to hear. It's like both those movies were really good and they were good for their own independent reasons. And Captain Marvel's catching the hell that it did because of the kind of promotion they did, the kind of person they hired for it, the kind of shillery that went on in and around it. No one saw it. And the points that people will point out simply went over everyone's head in terms of, look, nobody reacted this way to Wonder Woman. Think about that for a minute. None of them did. This is the first superhero film to be led by a woman. No, it's not, but let's just ignore that and move on. Like, it's just all these things go right past them, right? So even if, my point, Lindsay, that even if DC were to overtake the MCU, all of the people contracted and working at Marvel Studios would just convince themselves otherwise somehow. They'll just push back opening weekend to like the previous Friday and include that all as opening weekend, or they'll do whatever they need to do. Disney will come in and pressure Rotten Tomatoes to change its scoring or whatever the fuck, you know,
You're absolutely right about that, Polly, and I'll give you one caveat, one little glimmer of hope. The only thing that will kill the MCU is the MCU.
Yeah.
Where's my America Chavez movie? I need my America Chavez movie.
Hang on, let me grab a Streamlabs here. Thank you, Tyrai. Polly, you need a Streamlabs, and does Quizzer have a Streamlabs? Night, we'll listen tomorrow morning.
Oh, well,
maybe I should.
Thank you for popping in to listen now, and I appreciate you listening in the morning. That's great.
Yeah.
We always do get more viewers after the fact than we do live, and that's fine. I think that goes for every stream, no? Like,
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
probably.
But I don't know. I think it's so cool that people listen after the fact that they're not, you know what I mean? Somebody tweeted at me the other day on Wednesday saying, what the hell happened to Comic Book Curation yesterday? Because Sarah did that. That was Sarah. Because she had gotten the days mixed up. And I was like, well, what do you mean? We're streaming later on tonight. I'm looking forward to it. And she was like, oh, I got the days mixed up. And it suddenly occurred to me, wait a minute, someone was looking forward to this? Oh, that's cool. Hey, let me show you something that was at the bottom of this article that I was reading.
Let me answer Ebony in chat real quick. She said, how well did Aquaman do? Worldwide was $1.143 billion.
I already said that in the chat.
Oh, sorry. I didn't see that.
That's okay.
I don't read.
We all pay extra attention to Ebony. We understand how it is. Don't read anyone else's, Jack. It's fine. It's fine.
Well, the quiz is on stream.
Well, look at this. John Lithgow and Laurie Metcalf on Playing the Clintons. There's a tremendous undertow of melancholy. What, hold on. You're playing the Clintons? Where? How? I'm not clicking on this to find out, but what the fuck?
Now I'm curious.
I'm horrified.
I'm horrified, yes. Like, I like Laurie Metcalf as an actress. What are you doing playing Hillary Clinton? You're not remotely evil enough. That's just wild to me. And like, John Lithgow's got his like, these faces should be swapped. The dumb smile should be on Bill Clinton's face, and the evil intent should be on Hillary Clinton's face.
Well, apparently it's a Broadway show.
Oh my God.
Called Hillary and Clinton.
What?
Hillary and Clinton takes place behind closed doors of the state of New Hampshire during the early days of 2008, where former First Lady named Hillary Metcalf is in a desperate bid to save her troubled campaign for president for the United States. Her husband, Bill Lithgow, sees things one way. Her campaign manager, Mark Orth, sees things another.
Wow.
Huh. Well, that's the thing.
And Laurie Metcalf played the mother of one of the main characters on The Big Bang Theory, and the main characters on The Big Bang Theory regularly talk about and are into comic books. See, it connects.
There you go.
That was the most tenuous connection I've ever heard you say.
I tried, Jack. Leave me alone. Okay.
I'll give you an A for effort, but a C- for execution.
I'm not wrong. All those things are true.
That's true. That's true.
You know, Lindsay asked a fairly important question here. I'm gonna research it and I'll let you know. She asked if Aquaman did better than Dark Knight.
Ooh, that is a good question. I'd be curious about that myself. I've got a quick throwaway story going on here while you're looking that up. I don't know why I'm talking about this. I just find it funny for some reason. Natalie Portman gets restraining order against Colorado man claiming to be John Wick.
Yeah,
he knows that she killed his dog.
These are excellently chosen pictures because like here he is getting sized for his suit with deadly intent, and here's Natalie Portman. Like, what's that?
Is this the article I sent you?
Yes, it is. Yeah,
that's what I thought.
Yeah, and I love Natalie Portman's face. She's like, "Oh my God, he's coming for me. He really thinks he's John Wick. Look, he's even got that strange beard that John Wick has." Star Wars and Thor actress Natalie Portman gets and also rabid sexist gets a restraining order against Colorado man who claimed to be John Wick. John Wick is a fictional character. Yeah, we know. The franchise follows Wick, a retired assassin. Yeah, we know. It's a great movie series. Part 3 is coming out. If you haven't seen parts 1 and 2, the comic books leave something to be desired, but that's what happens when you seriously, that's what happens when you spend a lot of money on the license for something, therefore don't have enough of your budget left over to hire competent artistry. But whatever.
Hire somebody that's actually seen the movie to write it.
Yeah, right. Well, it's like, hey man, we finally got the licensing, so yeah, go ahead and write that comic. Oh yeah, when do you need that by? Monday. But it's Thursday night. Yep.
Okay.
And there you go.
So I've got the numbers here. I want to play a little game with this though. What do you guys think? Which made more money, Dark Knight or Aquaman?
Dark Knight. Or excuse me, Aquaman. Aquaman.
Yeah, I'd say Aquaman.
I think it would play in foreign markets better.
Yeah.
Really? Really?
Yeah.
You think so? Huh?
That's just a guess, but yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna say I'll share it right here. Dark Knight did hide that. There we go. 1.005 billion. Aquaman did 1.44 or 1.144 billion. So it made 139 million dollars more than Dark Knight.
See? Always bet on Polly.
Esther. Polyester. It never goes bad.
Bad sofa coverings from the 70s are always in style. Let's see. Where was I? According to the blast, the restraining order against from Natalie, I'm rich as hell and have had a totally privileged upbringing, but somehow turn everything in my life into a massive oppression fest so I can complain on Hollywood stages while accepting awards or giving them to other people when we pat ourselves on the back for being so progressive. Portman. It's a long middle name she has.
Yeah. Very.
According to the blast, her restraining order lasts, quote, for 5 years and bars him from coming within 100 yards of her, her husband, and their 2 children. A police report obtained by The Blast reveals the man rang her doorbell multiple times. When he was engaged via an intercom system, he remained silent. When the police arrived on the scene, the man identified himself as John Wick, even though the officers had his Colorado driver's license, which confirmed his true identity. No, you got it wrong. He is John Wick. His identity is a fake. Fuck.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do you think John Wick doesn't have fake IDs? Jack, you got nothing there? What's this?
It's so ludicrous. I mean, what do I say to that? Oh, then, haha.
My smoking jacket is not polyester, you bastards. It's velvet. It's velvet.
It's velour.
No, it's velvet, and it says so on the tag. And the lapels are quilted silk. It also says so on the tag. It's vintage. Anyway, moving on. Not only did the man claim he was John Wick. Oh no, I read that. No, I didn't. Hold on.
Yeah.
Not only did the man claim he was John Wick, but he reportedly told the officer, quote, that he had spoken to the reporting person several times telepathically. And that he had traveled from Colorado to Los Angeles to meet the individual. Jesus. Officers indicate that.
Yeah. Well, like John Wick does in the movies.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Officers indicate he the man.
He the man.
That's what it says.
No, you the man.
Yeah, officers indicate that he the man did not respond to his name on the driver's license, but he did respond when they called him John. They also indicate, beyond that he was the man, that his responses were limited and delayed. Following the encounter, the man was placed on a mental hold, and law enforcement officers requested a firearms restraining order against him, which was granted.
Yeah, so, immediately. Well, I don't think his responses were the only thing that are delayed.
I see what you did there. It's kind of a nothing story, but the part that made me want to read it was the telepathic thing. I mean, I just love it. This look on her face is not unwarranted. I
just thought it was funny. The guy thought he was John Wick. He's probably some big fat dude too. Like, they don't show a picture of him, but that mugshot's eventually going to come out, and it's going to be hilarious.
You know, I watched John Wick 2 in the theaters. I didn't see 1 in the theaters. But then I saw 2 again afterwards. You need to see it on a pretty big screen. If you watch it on a smaller home screen, like I don't have like a fancy 72-inch blah 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 screen, right? But it just doesn't have the same impact because it's such a action choreography driven film series that you really can't appreciate it to the fullest extent not watching it on a movie screen. So my point is here, if you guys are interested in really well done action choreography and an action movie that kind of breaks the mold, so you're interested in seeing John Wick 3, absolutely see it in the theaters. That is worth the theater going experience, in my opinion, man. Much more so than Brie Larson's fuckery fest. Anyway, moving on. I've just gotten bitter about it at this point.
I noticed.
I'm amazed that you guys have remained so like lighthearted about this. Hasn't it like darkened your environment even a little bit? Everyone talking about it constantly. I mean, I don't know if you've noticed, but half these fucking shill websites, well, I mean, Bounding Into Comics isn't a shill website, but most of them, it's just like all the way down the side. Every recommended story is Brie Larson said this, and Brie Larson talks about what her shoes smell like, and interestingly, it's cheese. And you know, Brie Larson is opening a new line of whatever the fuck products, and you know, it's just garbage shill shit. I don't know. I'm kind of sick of it.
I don't click on any of that, and I run ad block unabashedly. Fuck you, mundane Matt.
But it's pesky.
I know it's pesky.
I just don't read a lot of them. I just keep going because I'm already so bitter and jaded at this point that a lot of this is just more of the same. It's just white noise in the background. You expect this kind of pseudo culture war crap from these shills because they're making money off of it and they're getting free stuff.
Imagine coming from my perspective, Polly. I loathe the character of Carol Danvers, Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, whatever. I don't give a shit. I hate this character more than anything in the world. Okay? I can't think of a Marvel character that I hate more than Miss Marvel. All right? And
wow,
all of this shit that's coming out, I'm just sitting there going like, I don't care. I don't fucking care. I was never going to see this movie anyway. So these people sitting there going, it's such a great movie. Fucking doubt. It's a fucking terrible character. How good of a movie could it possibly have ever been? I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. So my whole thing is, yeah, it's kind of annoying seeing all of this stuff, but no more so than it would have been if it was a good movie.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, there were so many problems with that movie. Brie Larson was not even in my top 10 of problems with that movie.
Didn't the 2 end credit sequences finish it for you? I mean, everybody that I know has said that. It's like, well, come on though. What about the Easter egg end credit, mid credit sequences? I mean, that made it worth seeing, didn't it? And like,
no,
what? I don't go see films for interludes like that are a couple of minutes long. Fuck
that
off.
You could look up on YouTube next week. You know?
That's what I'm saying. Like it's great that they're there. Don't get me wrong. I love the idea of end credit scenes, and I love the idea of more than one end credit scene. I'm totally down for that. It's just that's not enough for my $15 plus my popcorn and the fact that I had to shove a soda in my pocket because I'm not paying their prices. Come on.
Yeah, I paid nothing to see it, and I want my money back.
See, the only way that I would go see this movie is if, number one, I wasn't not only getting the ticket for free, but I was being paid to see it, and they were buying all of the drinks in the commissary. By drinks, I do mean alcohol, because the theater that I have has a bar. I would get shit-faced and watch that shitty movie.
Oh, it wouldn't be worth it.
Hey, man, on someone else's time?
You got to stumble out of there in a fucking drunken anger fest now. I mean, I didn't drink watching that film. But, I mean, and was it worth my $15? I mean, in the sense of going to the theater, because I did, in fact, pay for a different movie. I couldn't accept the idea that, I don't know, what would it even be? 10, 15 cents of the ticket price would end up going to Brie Larson. That was too much.
Well, technically speaking, she wouldn't get any of the ticket sale. She's already made her money.
You don't know that.
That's the angering thing. Yeah, no,
we don't know what her contract stipulates. She might be getting back end money. You don't know.
Yeah, true. But like most actors, they negotiate for an upfront cash amount.
And admittedly, usually if it's your first film, you don't get to make negotiation points like that, like at all. Like back end money comes when you're in a really strong negotiation position. But then again, Brie Larson was able to get $5 million for her first fucking role, and Robert Downey Jr. got $400,000 for his. Seems kind of sexist. I wonder why she wasn't complaining to get paid the same as her male co-stars. Huh.
Well, not to spoil anything for the movie for anyone out there, don't see it, but they don't call her Captain Marvel once in the entire movie. That offended me.
Really? That did it to you?
That offended me.
Why?
Because it's the fucking superhero's name. I mean, you have a movie called Captain Marvel, and they don't call you Captain Marvel even once in the entire movie? Then you're just like generic superhero girl.
Okay, no, okay. Did they call Wonder Woman once?
Don't know. I was busy looking at the hot chick.
I was just I know. I was just scanning through like all, like, it's like Iron Man. Yeah, Tony Stark himself says Iron Man.
Yeah, I am Iron Man.
Right, and Captain America. Yeah, it's a central element of the film that he's Iron Man is a promotional thing to buy war bonds, right? Like, so yeah, absolutely, it's a huge thing in the film. Like, I'm just running like Thor. Of course, it's literally his name. Yeah. And then I came across Wonder Woman. And it's like, I can't remember, but I don't think does anyone call him Aquaman? I haven't seen the film.
Yeah, they call him Aquaman.
Okay.
And they at least say his real name, which I'm not going to reference anything more from Captain Marvel because I don't want anyone getting the idea they should go see this ridiculous pile of trash. But yeah, that offended me more because, like, if you're going to use the name Captain Marvel when Shazam is coming out, which the guy's name is Captain Marvel. He says Shazam. He should have the moniker of Captain Marvel. If you're not going to use the name.
He can't even say his own name. He can't say, "Hi, my name is Shazam," because then he'll either immediately turn into Captain Marvel or revert back to Billy Batson.
Well, no, they can use the name Captain Marvel. They just can't use it in the titles.
Yeah.
So, and it's not his name. His name is not Shazam. Captain Marvel is his name. Shazam is the wizard's name. So they can do that, but it offends me that there is a Shazam movie coming out with Captain Marvel, the real Captain Marvel, and he can't even put that in the title. And the movie that's the company that's effectively stolen the name from them is not even using the name in the product that they made to steal the name. Does that make any? I know that's a really nitpicky thing to complain about.
No, I understand what you mean. It is nitpicky, but that's fine. That's just
pissed me off.
I said they used to say Miss Marvel all the time.
Miss Marvel sucks too. The original Miss Marvel, Carol Danvers, was fine. I liked that character back in the day. But they ruined her about 5 years ago, so she's dead now.
Frosted glasses. I saw Captain Marvel on a plane and tried to walk out.
I know I would.
That sounds like he's just like hashtag dad jokes. I don't know. That sounds like a really old joke, but I've never heard it before, so it was new to me.
Yeah. I'm going to have to disagree with you there, Jack, about Carol Danvers, Miss Marvel, being a good character. No, she wasn't.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay, well, Vortex, did they call Black Panther Black Panther? Well, he is the Panther, like the spirit of the Panther. Did they ever actually refer to him as, or Black was it just King of Wakanda?
I've blocked out most of that mediocre movie, so I don't remember.
I thought it was all right. I didn't think it was great, but it was worth my $15 and going to the theater. I enjoyed it, except for when the CGI fight started. It was great.
The CGI fights.
Oh man, it was terrible. It looked like a bad video game.
The computers are fighting again.
So I've got another quick story that I want to cover here. So I'm covering this story for me. Frosted Glass, he got it from MST3K. Nice.
Best MST3K is from Pod People.
The Sopranos prequel film gets a release date and a new title. See, if you look over here, you'll see this guy. This is Joe Politano. He plays the reporter in Daredevil. So anyway, moving on.
God damn it.
He does. Look it up.
Gotta find a way to tie it into comics real quick.
It does relate. The only reason I was looking at it is because it directly related to comic books. I'm a big fan of Sopranos, so I wanted to read this. So why not throw it in on the stream? The feature-length prequel to the hit HBO series The Sopranos was both given a release date and a name change. Originally, it was titled The Many Saints of Newark. The newer and shorter title is simply Newark. Will make its theatrical debut September 25th, 2020. Every time I hear 2020 now, I think, is this going to be about the election? Yeah.
Frosted Glass Trumpy, you can do magic. Yeah, it's Trumpy, you can do stupid things. But I think that might be a misstep. I mean, is it going to be airing on HBO or what? Or are they going to do an actual like feature length movie? Because how are they going to be able to tie it to Sopranos? And isn't the lead actor for Sopranos dead?
It's a prequel. What did you not hear about this?
Yeah, but are they going to like recast?
Oh, no, yeah, absolutely. Because they're all like much, much younger when a bunch of, because in the series they were, the James Gandolfini, the guy who plays like Tony Soprano he's absolutely dead. It just, Newark sports an impressive cast playing younger versions of the actors who appeared on the television series, but many, many years before the series began. That's the idea. Long before Tony was a mob boss, right? When he was just coming up. So you see, the younger version of Christopher Moltisanti's father, Dickie Moltisanti, he was dead the entire series. They just refer to him. Do you know what I mean? And so now he's like actually alive. And it's like the younger version of Tony Soprano would be played by Michael Gandolfini, James Gandolfini's son. Ray Liotta recently joined the film's cast. That's a bad idea. Why?
Because he's in every mobster movie.
Yeah, and that's why it makes it lame. Like Ray Liotta, come on.
Let me grab this real quick. Thank you, Point Curation. If fans can recut the Star Wars prequels into a compelling movie that makes sense, then you can expect a fan recut of the Infinity Stone story. Maybe it'll take 10 years, but Marvel/Disney cannot prevent it. I hope you're right.
Well, actually,
hey, I'd watch that if it cuts out Carol Danvers entirely. Okay,
let's jump over to that.
Well, let me say on this story real quick. I think they're about a decade late for a Sopranos movie.
Really? You think it took too long?
I think the fandom has waned considerably. People have moved on.
Maybe. I mean, it certainly worked that way with Sin City.
Yeah, and Sex in the City. I mean, you got to get those out while the interest is still high.
Yeah.
The movie ended in what, 97? Or the series ended in what, like 97 or 98? Somewhere around there?
Mm-hmm.
You're a little...
When did Sopranos end? Or when did Sex in the City end?
When did Sopranos end?
2006.
2006, really? It's still a decade late. They should have done it within the first 3 years.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I mean, that's not a bad point. We'll see. It's one of those films that, I mean, 2020, Jesus Christ, they're talking about it really early on. Holy fuck.
Yeah, I think they're trying to rebuild the interest and hype, and I don't think it's going to work.
Well, let's talking about fan cuts and fan edits. Well, let's cover this story over here at CBR, and I haven't read this article myself, so we'll be reading it together. Avengers Endgame final film edit locked, directors confirm. Now, there was rumors swirling around that they did reshoots for a different ending depending on how Captain Marvel turned out, blah, blah, blah. Let's see if it refers to any of that. I'm curious. The co-directors of the Avengers Endgame of Avengers Endgame, Joe and Anthony Russo have confirmed that the final edit of the film has been locked less than 2 months from the film's final release date. In a post to their Twitter account, the Russo brothers shared a pic of the goodies that made up their editorial Sunday bar on the last day of editing for Avengers Endgame, as the film is now locked ahead of its release date at the end of next month. Quote, last day of the editorial Sunday bar. Picture is locked. The directorial pair wrote. Did you guys really fucking need identifying labels for what it was?
Yeah, labels are important, you bigot.
I don't know. Like, okay, they're these are gummies, these are M&Ms, like whatever they are. You couldn't tell just by fucking looking at them.
I don't know how those M&Ms identify.
Like, why didn't they put a label? Like, these are Oreos, these are cherries, this is whipped cream. Like, there's no labels in front of these things. You fuck. God, who's doing the catering in this joint?
Fluid.
Yeah. The Russos, however, did not confirm how long the runtime Avengers Endgame will be. The film has been rumored to be 3 hours in length, with the directors confirming that there's a strong possibility in December of last year. Well, the directorial pair did not confirm the runtime. Jesus. They used the word locked like 6 times in the first paragraph and talked about the runtime. This is just bad writing. It does seem likely that Avengers Endgame will become the longest superhero movie to receive a wide theatrical release in the United States, eclipsing 2012's Dark Knight Rises and 2009's Watchmen, both of which crossed the 160-minute. Okay, you got nothing. Okay, it just goes on. Directed by, and then every jackass remotely involved in it, including the guy who gave us our M&Ms for the fucking Sunday spread here. See, I was hoping that they were going to say something. Okay, so the only story that they have here, the only information they have for this story is that the film is locked, and that all came from the Russo brothers' Twitter account. You, CBR, suck. Wow, this is an article completely based upon one tweet.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is modern journalism. This is breaking news from the Twitter account.
It's like I was joking earlier about the New York Times that person not only didn't need to leave their desk, they could have been sitting on the toilet writing that on their phone. Taylor Williams here could have been literally writing this on the toilet. He was checking Twitter on his phone. I don't follow the Russo brothers on Twitter. Are you fucking kidding me? I mean, so the final edit is locked. I mean, I was hoping they were going to say something about what's her name getting cut out of it, because the rumor supposedly, right, for those of you who haven't heard this, is that if Captain Marvel bombed, they had done reshoots allowing Black Widow and Captain America to do a number of the heroic things that Brie Larson is doing in the film. Because if Brie Larson sucks, nobody wants to see her coming in as a Mary Sue and saving everyone's ass at the last fucking second, which is supposedly what was going on in one edit of the finale of the film. And they had filmed a second cut of it with Captain America and Black Widow doing more of that, doing a lot of her heroics. And Captain Marvel only plays a part in defeating Thanos. So I was hoping it was going to make some kind of reference towards, Brie Larson's Mary Sue heroics hit the cutting room floor. Wouldn't that have been nice?
Dare to dream.
So speaking of Brie Larson and Captain Marvel inside of Endgame, did you guys did everybody in chat watch the trailer? The final Avengers Endgame trailer dropped today, for those of you who didn't know. I know Jack and Quiz have seen it. I saw it earlier today. What did you guys think of it?
You made me watch it.
I did make you watch it. Quiz is he's a little hard to get along with at times.
Well, okay, here's the thing, right? I have Shady always sits there and criticizes me about this, but I don't give a shit. I haven't been excited for a Marvel movie, an MCU movie, since Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and I was massively let down by that. Before that was Avengers 2, and I was massively let down by that. I don't give a shit anymore. My shits are officially tapped. I haven't seen Ant-Man and the Wasp. I didn't see Infinity War. I won't see Endgame. I'm done. I don't care about the MCU. I don't. Just saying.
So angry. So angry.
I
watched the trailer and I thought, more of the same.
You know, something that popped up, and I thought this was interesting, is that I did read a couple of people talking about this on Twitter from the Endgame trailer, where it's like it shows Steve Rogers and he's a pallbearer carrying a casket, of course. And it's like, no, Steve Rogers doesn't bury an Avenger in the new Endgame trailer. Yeah, those are scenes from the previous movie. That's him carrying Peggy Carter's casket when she dies.
Mm-hmm.
The trailer makes it clear that, you know, people have passed for those who aren't here, and it shows flashbacks to previous Marvel films of people being somber about changing times and different things happening. And I don't understand. And I get why CBR wrote out this article. Look, they even showed look, there he is. Peggy Carter's funeral scene from Captain America Civil War. I mean, I just saw people on Twitter talking about this. It's like, oh my God, see, he does bury another Avenger. And it's like, you guys are morons. Haven't you seen the other MCU films? Oh, no, that's right. You haven't, because you guys are totally garbage tier morons who just talk about things that you don't actually enjoy.
Pretty much.
Just putting that out there. Oh, yeah. Speaking of garbage tier, I'm going to break my own desire to not talk about Captain Marvel too much, but whatever. We brought up Agent Coulson there, the actor who plays Agent Coulson on The Nerdist. Mm-hmm. Okay, fuck The Nerdist. Yeah. I mean, they are so bad at what they do.
Yeah.
They are. I thought I knew what shill was, and then I discovered thenerdist.com. There's no honest opinions from them. If you go to The Nerdist's YouTube channel, and you check out all of their videos, they're all like, two of our, barely paid morons argue over what's the greatest thing about this new film that we've been told to tell is great. Like, it just, everything is just promotion. You use the phrase gets used a lot, access media, meaning media that can only talk about something because a company has bothered to give them access to early screenings or their actors or permission to interview their writers. As soon as they lose that access, they lose all relevance and they have nothing to talk about. So which also means, of course, as soon as they say something unpalatable or critical of the movies that they're supposed to be promoting as journalists. Think about that for a second. They lose access and they lose their job, basically, because they got nothing to talk about. That's access media. That's like every garbage tier site that originates stories. Hate Camel asks, who actually looks at The Nerdist? I hear you. But the point is, who's generating stories off of what The Nerdist is doing is the real question, because that fucking interview with Coulson made the rounds, man. Every garbage tier site that couldn't write something up, like CBR writes about it, Mary Sue writes about it. Oh, Agent Coulson has a message for the haters out there, blah, blah, blah. I swear that The Nerdist must actually be subsidized by Marvel Studios to exist. Because if you look at them, they've got good cameras, they've got a studio. How the fuck can you guys keep functioning? They've got 2.6 million subs. 2.6 million. Barely any of their videos break 100,000 views. Barely any. I did the math on that. That's 3.6% of their subs watch their videos on a regular basis. Oh my God. How That's the fuck? Bad. I do better than that. We do better than that, guys. Mm-hmm. Our audience is more loyal than the Nerdist's audience.
That's because our audience is awesome.
Well, yeah. But obviously. I mean, and I accounted for one of those views over on the Nerdist because I wanted to watch that complete Coulson interview. You have this fat bearded soy boy moron. Did either of you guys go watch the whole interview on the Nerdist?
Yes, I did. Unfortunately.
Nope.
Well, okay, Jack, you can live in blissful ignorance. Quiz and I will commiserate over our shared pain on this. Mm-hmm. How suckers. How bad was that interviewer? He was nodding along with everything Coulson was saying. Right. I hear you. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Leading fucking questions, and the entire time he's it seemed like he was feeding him lines too. I don't know. This goes to my whole fact. It's like I'm not sure if these people actually like think, at least not by themselves. They have to go to committee to be able to have an opinion. And the committee either tells them, yes, you can like this, or no, you cannot like this. Or any of the people that don't like this have to be alt-right Nazi scumbags.
Oh, I'm watching it now. That dude has the weird receding hairline.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And it cuts away to him just standing up and talking to the camera, the interviewer. Because, and after all, if you're going to be a hater and you're going to be this kind of person, just turn it off, because that's not what real fandom is about.
Like he would know what real fandom is.
I know, dude, you're a hired guy who's reading a script, and who the fuck are you talking for? This cannot be your opinion. Your mouthpiece, like, that's what I mean. Who's subsidizing the existence of the Nerdist.com and the Nerdist YouTube channel? Because it took money to hire this fucking guy. It costs money to run the cameras. It's a multi-person operation. Who's fucking paying for you to exist? It's clearly not your fucking ad revenue.
No, I know who's paying him. The Illuminati. He's wearing a Mothman shirt, and there's a UFO in the background, and we all know that the reptilians come from outer space, and they are controlling the Illuminati right now, so he is clearly getting Illuminati money.
To my knowledge, Chris Hardwick owns the Nerdist.
So Chris Hardwick's a lizard person, is what you're saying, Quinn.
I guess.
No wonder he escaped those accusations.
I did, however, notice the Mothman shirt, and I thought of you, Jack. You're the only person I know who brings up the Mothman conspiracy theory.
It's not a conspiracy theory. The Mothman was real. It was a giant bird.
Yeah, it was. It was
the reptilians. I don't know if it was controlled by the reptilians. I just assumed so.
Was there a Mothman comic?
There was. Somebody did a couple of one-shots.
We're still on topic. Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
I was gonna say, I saw that. It was on Ripley's Believe It or Not, right? Where the farmer shot that barn owl.
Yeah, well, you know, the Mothman incident also had a bunch of Men in Black sightings around it. And the Men in Black were in a movie with Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones, which was based off of a comic book by Aerosil named Men in Black. So full circle, right back at you.
And both Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones were in DC comic book movies.
That's true.
Nice.
Both Batman related too.
Yeah. You know, I'll say this, Polly, you might be interested by the fact that the Suicide Squad sequel will not be featuring Will Smith as...
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's been confirmed that he is not reprising his role as Deadshot.
Did they can't afford him? He's all booked up with YouTube?
No, I'm just counting my chickens, dude. I'm perfectly content with saying that Will Smith was probably the weakest part of that movie. A movie which I am in the minority in liking.
Yes, you are.
You have to admit, hiring Trailer Park, a company that edits together trailers, to do the final edit on that film, it looked like a trailer, the entire film. Because, of course, the guys who edit together trailers. The film, come on, it wasn't the greatest put together. I mean, that was what, its fourth edit? It really did make the film suffer.
You know, I've got to say, I still do like it. It could have been better. It could have been cut better. Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
I'm not going to say I hate that film, because I don't. It's not bad. It's just not great.
Yeah, I want to say, you know, when you compare it to the other Suicide Squad movie, Assault on Arkham, there's no comparison. Assault on Arkham is infinitely better.
It is.
But it's still not, in my opinion, a bad movie.
All right. So there is...
It's the first not bad movie of the DC movies.
It's the first not bad movie? Oh, come on. There was...
BVS was bad, Polly.
BVS was passable. It was a disappointment, but in and of itself, beyond everyone's expectations, it was passable.
Yeah. Nah, no.
The only thing I liked about Suicide Squad was Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. I thought she did a good job.
Oh yeah, she did a great job. I loved like every sequence that they had with Harley and the Joker actually was okay in my opinion. It's just when Jared Leto was let like free to just be creepy Joker without Harley, was a little dumb. Just saying, it's a little dumb.
Yeah, I think he was okay casting for the Joker. It just was a poor vehicle for him.
Well, you know, the thing about it was, I don't even disagree with the premise that they had for the reason why they made him all tatted up and stuff like that. The director, can't remember, I'm blanking on his name, said that he wanted to make the Joker more in line with the modern age and wanted to make him a gangster the way the modern gangsters would be. So they, you know, they put him all tatted up and gave him a grill and stuff like that. And I'm like, it works in premise, but in execution, it was bad.
Yeah, he just ended up being Hot Topic Joker, right?
Yeah.
And I get the idea of him being a mobster, like, or at least a gangster, because even in the Batman animated series, that's how Commissioner Gordon refers to him, like the Joker's gang and so forth. Like they are out there committing crimes. They are about amassing money. I can buy the Joker as a really frightening mobster. Yeah, but that wasn't a frightening Joker in terms of his costume design and everything. It's like, this is not a guy I would be afraid of. This is so, like, how would you ever get people to follow you?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I don't know. That was my call on it. In any case, let us go on to a different topic that I had in mind here. Oh, you know what I want to talk about? Let me just bring it up on screen.
Frosted Glass said, I've had kidney stones more passable than BVS.
Hey! I have never said it was a great film. I merely said it was a better film than Dark Knight Rises, and I hold to that.
Hey, Camel said Leto made the Joker look like he had a SoundCloud to promote.
Well, yeah. See, that's the thing, is that's exactly what the director was going for. I disagree with that direction, but that's exactly what he was going for.
So, for those of you who didn't see, this is today's thumbnail. I'm going to upload a better updated version of this better when I attach it, because I'm like really fastidious about how the thumbnails look. But anyway, for those of you who don't recognize that character, that's Kitty Pryde.
Yeah, Shadow Cat.
Shadow Cat, yeah.
Her fist positioning's a little bit suspicious.
So this is quiz, give it a caption. What is this?
Hey, y'all see that fucking gargoyle on my shoulder? Crazy, huh? I don't know.
Really? It's not like, yeah, I'm a high-priced hooker who has a dragon. What's your point?
Well, yeah, maybe.
I mean, like, seriously, you're a longtime X-Men fan. I'm a big fan of the character Shadowcat, Kitty Pryde. Does this look at the eye makeup alone? Like, what the fuck, man? What's going on here?
She looks like an 80s heavy metal chick. Like she's about to be in a Whitesnake video.
Yeah, right?
So why does she look like this at all? Well, I had to look into it to find out, because I'm weird like that. There she is. This is from Extreme X-Men number 44. She's a bartender, and this is her new superhero costume, because she wants to be able to quickly transition from work to fighting crime.
Oh, she wants to transition, all right.
I was gonna say, is she fucking Coyote Ugly now? What's going on?
You know what's funny? That's what people called it online. This is Coyote Ugly Kitty. And this is there she, she's tossing glasses and dancing on tabletops, and she's got the little beer bottle opener on a fucking waist chain. It's sexy. But, as she says, my scholarship covers my university fees. The apartment I carry on my own. That means having a job. And the job is like, does this strike you as something Kitty Pryde would do? It strikes me as funny. And like I said, this is legitimately her pardon the pun, street walking costume. She fights crime in this leather outfit with holes on it and stuff, like whatever the fuck. Sadly, this series was written by Chris Claremont, a writer who I have a incredible amount of respect for. And it's very detailed. It's like so many other Chris Claremont comics and writing efforts. It's wordy as hell. It's talky as hell, but it's like the story isn't really well thought out. It's just this particular Extreme X-Men story is focused on Kitty Pryde, and it's her out on her own dealing with a couple of things. It seems like it's either full of crappy editorial mandates or off the top of Chris Claremont's head ideas, because it's just I read through it, and this particular story arc about Kitty, and it's just her as at a university on her own, living in a dormitory, and not telling anybody that she's a mutant, because everyone's, you know how those muties are, and dealing with the racism against the mutants, and like at some point she's like, "Well, I'm one of them too. How do you judge me now?" And that's the whole story. It's not really. Yeah, it's not very good, is my point. Like, what the hell?
Johnny Hellcat got me really going there in the chat, and then he had to just dash my hopes like that. Apparently, Polly, I brought this up to Polly, and he actually read some of the comics. You remember the Batman Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle crossover?
Yes. Apparently,
it's getting an animated movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But then Johnny Hellcat just had to dash my hopes and dreams the fact that Tara Strong is voicing Harley in it.
Well, there's worse things that could have happened.
No, there isn't. Tara Strong, stop voicing Harley. Stop it.
Yeah, Tara Reid is available.
Well,
Tara Reid should be the drummer, the new drummer in the Josie and the Pussycats.
Speaking of Josie and the Pussycats, I paid to see Gem and the Holograms in the theater.
Oh God, why? At least Josie and the Pussycats had good music, man.
I actually did. I paid to see it in the theater, not because I wanted to, or oh my God, Gem's in the theater. We went to see it knowing that it was going to be fucking assuming it was going to be bad, but we didn't think it was going to be that bad. And we went there and drank. It was three of us, a guy, a girl, and myself. A guy. And we were throwing popcorn at the screen and yelling at it. It was because there was no one in the theater. We thought we were going to be loud and annoy people. No, there was no one there to annoy. There was a couple of people by themselves out far in the back. We sat halfway front to back, like where we could stretch out our legs, where there's like the walkway in between and the Coliseum style seating. Yeah, we were just yelling at it. Oh God, that movie's terrible. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, but Jesus Christ, it's bad.
Were the other people in the theater wearing trench coats and making weird noises under them?
I'm positive that we ruined their theater going experience. That's all I'm saying. It was like, that was fucking awful. It was great. I'm surprised we didn't get ushered, but we didn't. No one came in and told us to quiet down or anything like that. And we were drunk. We had to take an Uber out of there. It was great.
And I'll tell this story here because I don't think I've told it on Comic Book Curation. One of my favorite movie-going experiences for at least a couple of my friends was we went to go see Mad Max Fury Road. Theater was absolutely fucking packed, right? Not a vacant seat at all. I was sitting in the very back, and that movie came out at around the same time they did the National Lampoon's Vacation reboot with Christina Applegate.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about another massive letdown. I love Christina Applegate, and that movie was such an awful pile of garbage. But they had the trailer running for that, and you know how they had the bit in it where they were going off of the original Vacation, where the woman in the Ferrari pulls up right next to the car, and the guy's waving at her and stuff like that, and she passes by. Well, in the remake, she gets creamed by a truck. So The best part about it was that like all of the jokes that were in the trailer were falling flat. No one was laughing. So the entire theater was just eerily silent. Packed theater, full of people there to see Mad Max Fury Road. No one's laughing at this comedy trailer. This bus plows into the Ferrari, and you just hear me in the very back in this absolutely just dead quiet theater go, "Ha ha! She died!"
That's dark quiz.
So a couple of my friends just kind of like just slowly turned and looked at me because I was all the way in the back of the theater.
The easiest way to get out of it when people tell you to be quiet in the theater. I don't know. I am that guy. Is like people, it's like I hate people who talk in the theater. Oh, really? I don't ever do that because I totally do. I don't give a fuck. And I tend to like, try and respect people to a limited extent by like I go see like the Late Show on Sunday nights and shit like that. And it's like, hey man, you show up in the off times, you got to expect the assholes are going to be there, and I'm one of them. But you get people going, excuse me, can you please be quiet? And just all you got to do is just go, oh yeah, totally, and then don't.
Oh, see, I'm the guy that will kick your chair 5 times and yell, "Shut the fuck up!"
The only people who ever take a guess. Who are the only people that really want to make an issue out of it? Like, will actually like say it outside of a whisper. Guys that are with their girlfriends. That's it.
Yeah.
Because they're the only ones who are looking to puff their chest. Everyone else can get over it. And let me tell you something. This is my opinion. No one else has to agree with me, but I would rather deal with some talky, loud motherfuckers, even people that are ruining the next scene coming up, as long as I don't have to sit beside some old lady who bathed in perfume before she came to the fucking theater.
Oh my God, that's the worst.
No, man. If I pay enough money to go to the theater and actually sit there, I'm going to go get a manager and have your ass thrown out. Otherwise, you might get a pistol whipping.
You would pistol whip an old lady for too much perfume?
I'd pistol whip anyone talking through a movie. It would drive me up a fucking wall.
I thought you were talking about the old lady with.
No, I'll just set her on fire. She's combustible.
Well, I was gonna say she's definitely flammable with the stink coming off.
I never sit by old people. I know better. They sit there and rattle stuff.
All I gotta say is that there was one time where I went to see Deadpool, and it wasn't my first screening of it, thank God. But there was this one jackass that came up, sat right next to me, turned on his phone, and was like doing shit on his phone. And I'm not sure if anyone has ever had this experience when someone's at the theater. When you turn on your phone, it's like a big old spotlight for your dumb, stupid face.
Yep.
So I just look over at him, I'm like, really, fucking dude? Get the fuck out of here. And then he quietly puts his phone away and left the seat.
I had this lady like 5 rows down from me talking on her cell phone, and she was holding it up by her mouth, so she had it on speaker. And she's like, I don't know what this dude doing. She was like trying to figure out what was happening in the movie because she didn't understand it. And her friend was like, just watch it. They explain it. No, I don't know what's going on. You wouldn't believe this guy. Oh, he's hot. And I was like, I'm going to murder somebody today.
Oh, shit, they cut the chrome wire.
Oh, I was so pissed off. Thankfully, somebody else went and got a manager. But they threw her ass out. They're like, yeah, get out.
We got this... James Colley saying, and remember, hashtag Polly abuses Jack and quiz. Jack threatened to pistol whip me moments ago. What do you mean I abuse people?
I just said if you were talking in the theater with me, I would be tempted to. I didn't say you specifically.
You didn't use the word tempted. You said you would. I heard it.
Yeah, it totally would. But that's only if the manager doesn't do his job, or I'm exceptionally lazy and don't want to walk that way out.
Now, see, I MST 3K the shit out of the trailers, and then once the movie starts, I'm good boy.
There's no fuck it. If I've gone out of my way to pick a off time to see a movie, what difference does it make?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Well, that does.
The first movie I ever saw in the theater, by the way, since we're talking about that, Dragon Wars.
That's the worst movie you've ever seen?
In the theater.
Okay. I don't even know what that is.
It was based on a manga, apparently, or a anime. I don't know which. but they shortened it to D Wars. It was about dragons, and you think, oh, dragons, that'll be cool. Big celestial dragons flying around. No, you don't see the one until the very end of the movie. It's stupid. Stupid. One of the absolute worst put together movies I've ever witnessed. And I like bad movies.
Wasn't there that one that starred what's his nuts? Matthew McConaughey, that was all about like dragons that had like incinerated the world and shit.
That was Reign of Fire with Christian Bale and Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
And that was actually a pretty fun movie if you watch it.
Yeah, I saw that one. I actually kind of like that one.
What? Oh, Reign of Fire. You know, okay. You guys are talking about MST3K. See, I didn't stop at MST3K. I went on and kept watching Riff Tracks. And Riff Tracks is fucking great. I got a huge collection of them. Big fan of their style of comedy. And my only interaction with Reign of Fire is the comedy commentary track that they did for it. People make this reference. The only way I could stand that movie is because I watched the Riff Tracks of it. You know what I mean? Because there's guys cracking jokes on it, right? Like I've seen the Britney Spears movie because I watched the Riff Tracks version of it. I've seen well, the list goes on. Really bad movies. I can't think of any right now. All because I was watching the Riff Tracks. That couldn't even make Reign of Fire passable. All because of Matthew McConaughey's voice.
Well, you don't like Matthew McConaughey?
No, he's in that movie. He's he makes Christian Bale's Batman sound fucking melodic.
That's a good one.
Polydub doing a sheepdog impression.
I'm just saying, it drove me crazy. It was so bad, I couldn't fucking take it. I had to turn it off. I was just.
And say the worst movie I ever saw in the theaters, Avengers 2.
You need to see more movies.
What? Yeah, no kidding. Holy fuck. He mentions D Wars I've never even heard of. I said Gem and the Holograms, and you said an MCU film.
I saw Laser Blast at a drive-in, and you're telling me Avengers 2? Really?
Okay, no, wait. Okay, no, that's not true. That's not true. Because I completely forgot I watched The Hunger Games in the theater.
Ooh.
Yeah, okay. That's a pretty bad movie.
I've never seen a single one of them, you know.
Well, you know, it's funny. The reason why we did is because it was at a drive-in theater. My roommate and I went there, and it was a double feature with the first Avengers.
Right.
But I thought it was hilarious because like we were sitting there. They played the Avengers first, so you know the sitting there for Hunger Games was just kind of like meh. You know, just fucking around. But imagine this, right? My roommate and I are in at the time, I had a Jeep Wrangler, so I had the top pulled down on it. And it gets to the scene where the little black girl dies, and then like she's making a flower memorial when everyone's supposed to be fighting for their lives. And like I'm sitting there in a car, right? So I've got a dashboard and a clock. I can see exactly how long the scenes are taking. And by the time she finished burying the girl, 10 minutes had rolled by. So I stand up in the middle of my car with the top down and yell out over this crowded, drive-in theater, all these cars in the very back. So it carries, it echoes. I just go, "It's been 10 minutes! You're not winning the Oscar! Move along!" Yeah.
Nice.
That was fun. That was a fun experience.
So angry.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So, I was talking about the Extreme X-Men. The where Coyote Ugly Kitty was pulled from there.
Yeah.
And they redesigned all their costumes, and this took place between 2001 and 2002 that this series ran largely. And you get an impression of kind of like what they were looking to do, and I ended up grabbing some pictures because I couldn't resist reading some of the comics and looking at some of the trade paperbacks that were available for them. It's hold on here. Here's a good example. Like subtle
butt cheeks.
I'm okay with it.
So am I, but it's like, who is that? I don't even know.
Is she supposed to be holding Cyclops' glasses?
Maybe, or those are hers because they all do have in their costume redesigns glasses that are similar to that, like shooting glasses. Hey, who knows? But it's like she's clearly an X-Man because she's got the X-Man belt. I don't even know who that is.
Her waist looks unhealthily skinny.
Well, this is a corset cincher, waist cincher thing. That's my guess anyway.
Is that that Gina girl from YouTube that needs to eat a sandwich?
You got me. But it killed me because I was like, man, it's the whole style of it. So the costume redesigns that they went over, right? Like here's Rogue's costume.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and they're all done along this black and red style. Everybody kind of has their own costume, but they're all to this black and red theme, if you know what I mean. Like Storm has this same kind of basic thing going on, but she doesn't have pants. It's like a bathing suit onesie top and then a big cape on it. But yeah, I mean, you see, you got Rogue and she's got the glasses. They all have the glasses. It's just an element of their costume design. You got me what's going on there, but I did come across this picture. Look at the action figures. Look at their boobs.
Is that a real toy?
Those are real toys, man. The Extreme X-Men figures. I just look, their boobs just kill me. Look at them. They look so bad.
Hideous looking.
I love the let's do articulation, right? Let's have the fingers individually articulate, and the wrists and the forearms and the elbows and the shoulder.
Good God.
Wow.
And the waists have to articulate right there, right? And then there's two articulation joints at their waist, here and then underneath. So their boobs end up standing out separate off of their chest. I'm not going to call them tits. Those are big puffy balloon boobs. That's
horrifying to look at.
Oh my God. Good times. And is it just me? Or because they wanted their heads to be able to turn and articulate as well, they made their necks way too goddamn long. Like it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if this is Rogue, who the fuck is this? Is that?
It's not the same face.
It's like an alternate head sculpt or something because one's got a jacket and one doesn't.
Yeah, Ryan Walter says with twerking action. Yeah, the butt cheeks individually articulate on the back.
Did she come with the stripper pole, or was that a play set?
No. The only from the Extreme X-Men redesign, the only one who does the stripper look is Kitty Pryde here. You know, that's like, what the fuck? Whose design intent was this? Let's do a separate series of the X-Men and have them like, what the fuck?
She's got those big old thong strings too, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's just like I figure the person who did this costume design recently had seen a music video where a girl had the thong strings coming above her pants and said, hey, I'm going to make the youngest member of the X-Men dress like this.
Well, you know, now I've got, now I'm curious. It's the Extreme
X-Men. Yeah.
Okay,
check this out.
I want to see when this started.
Get a load of this picture. Check out. That is the most weirdly sexual pose I've seen. And
I think Bishop's saying this is my rifle, this is my gun.
Well, okay, yeah. Shady Green could say 90s slut kitty. No, yeah, I hear you, but I mean, it was apparently spilling over. I mean, I thought the over sexualization of female characters, like people talk about that, where it's like, you know, the women are always doing splits and stuff like this. That was like early 90s, and Jim Lee, you know, was one of the people who was popular for doing that. Okay, this was 0102 and this was going on. What the fuck?
Well, okay, Coyote Ugly, the movie, was in 2000. Extreme X-Men was 2001.
Yeah, someone had been watching Coyote Ugly and went, hey, I've got an idea, guys.
Yep. That sounds exactly like what's going on.
So going over here, where this all started originally is I was reading this this here article, and I thought it'd be good for laughs to go over it. I figured you, Quiz, would be able to particularly appreciate this. Crazy costumes of Kitty Pryde, and it goes over her entire costume history really quickly with pictures. And oh my God, some of the designs she has are pretty bad. This is like, X-Men Prime, right? And this is an older article because it came out like what, I don't know, 3-4 years ago or whatever the hell. You can tell by the references to Ellen Page playing her in the upcoming X-Men film. So,
Yeah.
so it's an older article, but whatever. Look at the way they got Jean Grey here. Like this is terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And this is Rachel Summers, or actually Rachel Grey in her prestige garb. I mean, this was a bad period for costumes, man. Like in a Kitty Pryde down in the front with kind of like an original X-Men throwback kind of costume.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean, or inspired by, don't you think? That's what I see in it.
Yep.
And poor Kurt Wagner, he never gets a new costume. Been wearing his circus getup for years.
Yeah, that's fine. He doesn't need it.
What's that?
He doesn't need it. He doesn't need it. I mean, he's iconic the way he is.
Yeah,
lots of them are iconic the way that it is. And then, of course, you got totally not rip-off female Wolverine character here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always good. It's always good.
Yeah,
I mean, this is...
We're calling her Girl-Verine.
Girl-Verine. That's right. Is this Gay Iceman?
It was before he went gay.
Oh, that's right. It would have been, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And all I gotta say about X-23, I prefer Ethan Van Sciver's. Was it? Oh God, X30. No, yeah, X32. Because in a mirror it says sex.
Yes. I love how he claims ownership of the origin of that. It's a good story. It's a good story.
Mm-hmm.
X-23 is just the worst character ever. Marvel does not have the money, it seems, in their budget to pay good writers or artists. It's Tumblr trash and people crapping out stories. I honestly think that that's a large part of why comics have become less and less talky, because the writers produce thinner and thinner material for the money.
Yeah.
That's my guess. I don't know. For those of you who are coming in, who have come in recently or just coming over the last little while, please feel free to like and subscribe and share if you're enjoying the content. And while we're at it, our main man Peter's in chat, and it's his birthday, so feel free to wish him a happy birthday. I'm sure Monkey will sing later, but I'm not going to pain you with having to listen to us three morons intone a happy birthday to you.
Yeah, happy birthday, Peter.
Going along in this, oh look. She covered up that forehead. Good for you. Let's
the feminist head-butting forehead.
So here's Kitty Pryde in her original Sprite costume. Remember this?
Mm-hmm.
It's actually fucking domino mask. Yeah.
Yeah. If you reverse domino mask.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a full head covering. It's like a cowl.
Yeah. With her curly 13-year-old hair popping out the back, because she was supposed to be the original super young character on the X-Men, but then obviously they decided to make her older, and that became Jubilee, who was the new youngest member of the team, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So look at that shit. Oh my God.
Jeez, what the fuck is that?
The all new, all different, altogether stunning Sprite. This is obviously a costume she made for herself. You can tell by the context of it, right?
Snazzy, huh, Professor?
Looks like Punky Brewster threw up on her.
I really hate that clunky old uniform you gave me. It's positively antique. I figured I'd make some improvements.
I don't rocket roller skates too.
Yeah, I really don't. And I get the idea that she can pop in right through the wall. Cool. But I really find it hard to believe that any 14-year-old would dress themselves like this if they wanted, even in the vision of what a 14-year-old thought was cool. Come on.
This was the 80s. Those knee-high socks were in.
She's also a really big fan of The Huntress.
Apparently.
I guess, all right, moving on.
Big in the 80s, man.
Oh, look, nice. Flashback to her old costume, throws it in the fire. Oh, damn. Well, what do you know? Jesus. She's really into the fabulous costumes, huh?
Yeah.
Here I am. What do you think? Wonderful.
Designed by paparazzi.
Apparently, Cena Grace wasn't the first gay man involved in comics. Jesus Christ. Whew. Kitty's Technicolor Dreamcoat over here. You people have absolutely no taste. Uh-huh. I think all this was done for comedic effect because everyone's like, oh my, way to make an asshole out of her. So then somebody wrote in, and then here's Kitty's Corner, new costumes. Little unnecessary implied nudity here.
And a little racist. I mean, she's supposed to be Jewish, but that doesn't excuse the racism of Kitty's Costume Corner with all K's.
Oh, yeah. Jesus.
Even more problematic is her lack of armpit hair.
Why is that problematic?
Oh, it's a problem for one woman. It's a problem for Kitty Pryde, too.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that. They're like, why growing up on the Amazon island would she shave her arm? Right. Jesus. Okay, anyway. She looks like a member of Alpha Flight over here on the right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when she did rock the scarf.
And those 80s socks too. Look at it.
Yeah, leg warmers. They were called leg warmers.
He's going on Flashdance.
They were socks.
Oh, nice. Turns into Vader.
She also turns into Leandra there too.
Yeah. You got to like that Shi'ar haircut though. It's pretty cool. Jesus. Kitty has never really gotten to, like, they really had a lot of fun with her costumes here. Holy shit.
Oh, that's some bondage looking stuff there.
Yeah, and then she goes into like Robin with a Y hood down here.
Yeah.
Almost. Not
and Dark Phoenix. Okay. Was this whole issue just about her changing costumes? Okay.
Looks like it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's terrible.
Yeah, with the fucking eye makeup, yeah.
Whew.
That's from God Loves Man Kills, I think.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Looks like it.
Huh.
That's credit. Yep, God Loves Man Kills, 1982.
Oh yeah, there it is down there. Script by Chris Claremont. Yeah. Yeah, that's a terrible design outfit. Why green? And very green. Holy shit.
She barely wears a costume in the entire comic.
She's naked?
No, she's always in civilian clothes.
Oh. I do like the papal neck gear that she's got going on in this costume. Then here she is looking very retro, which is like, this is what I meant when I say it's very informed. Her newest costume by her old costume, by the old school ones.
Yeah, I like that one there, the black and yellow one we just saw.
This of course is, I'm biased as fuck, but this is my favorite Shadowcat costume of them all. This is Alan Davis's creation of her when she was in Excalibur. This was his costume design for her, and yeah, I think it looks the best. But of course, Alan Davis, who drew this, is just fucking ultra talented artist. I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, I do think that's her best looking one too.
It fits the idea of like Shadowcat, and that she has ninja skills. It works the best for me by making her look like it's ethereal, because like her top outfit is like a blouse. It's free flowing, but then you know what I mean? Like it kind of fits with her whole vibe, but you could see her actually getting into a ninja fight in it and being able to move and fight, so I liked it.
She's got like a leather coat though, doesn't she? Isn't that her top in that?
I don't know. It's a high collar jacket, so it would probably be like velvet, which is probably why Polly likes it.
Oh yeah. Wait a minute. I never stopped to think about this before. Her phasing ability disrupts electronics. So she's sitting there working on that. Wouldn't she have like blown that whole computer board trying to fix it like that?
Yeah.
Hate fact.
There.
She's a strong, independent woman that don't need no man. So
well, technically, it's powered off, because you don't ever want to have it powered on when you're using a soldering iron. And that's.
Are you trying to say that her phasing ability only affects machines that are powered on?
That's what I thought. That needs to have an electric current going through it already for.
Oh, okay. Shadowcat here, looking a little X-23 with the claws. A little weird.
Yeah, I don't like that. Looks ugly.
Oh, here she is in Coyote Ugly gear. Look at that. She's throwing a bottle up in the air. She's got the mixer. Everyone's staring at her. Woo, kitty. Then there's the cover. There's the cover I used for the thumbnail. And yep, there she is fighting crime in her bar whore gear, or whatever you want to call it. And then finally down to her modern costume.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Jesus. So there it is, the complete run of, like, man, she has been through some rough times with costumes, huh?
Yeah. Well, she's still better off than Dazzler.
Oh my God, Dazzler. Oh God. Why did they bring her back to the 70s? What the fuck?
I don't know.
It's so bad.
I forgot about this one.
Her Excalibur costume was good.
Yeah, the Excalibur was the best one, but I always dug her Kitty Pryde Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't know if you've ever read this miniseries. It was great. It's hard for pretty much any character to not look super cool in the S.H.I.E.L.D. tactical outfit because it's just cool. You know, it's got the gun harness and the extra guns and the knee pads and the, you know, looks deadly serious. I'm a fan.
Her face looks terrible in that picture.
Yeah, you leave Larry Hama out of this.
I like Larry Hama, but that is not his best work.
Yeah, well, it was. She's leaving Excalibur for a whole new life. I mean, fuck. Before clickbait was clickbait, they did it on cover. It was a temporary mission. You find that out in the first 3 pages of the first issue.
No,
she's leaving Excalibur.
Cover, dude. You bought it based on the cover.
You did?
No, everybody did.
Oh.
And say we're talking about Dazzler here, real quick. All I gotta say. This is Dazzler's best outfit. This is the only Dazzler outfit I will accept.
Yeah, that was the one she wore in Excalibur, and that was her best one.
She also wore it in X-Men, too, when she was on the X-Men for a bit.
Yeah.
This is what she looked like in Extinction Agenda.
Yeah, that was the only costume worth talking about. The others were all hideous.
So I did want to bring this up because we were kind of talking about it the other night, and I wanted to get your guys' thoughts. Titan Comics, and this is what I was asking you, Jack, what you know about Titan Comics, is going to be doing a Blade Runner series. I was thinking about this. This is a universe that is just ripe to be exploited for an entire series. I mean, I'm curious, chat, press 1 if you've seen Blade Runner. It's wild what a popular movie it is, but lots of people haven't seen it.
Hold on.
And there's endless characters that could be introduced. Other Blade Runners, detectives, replicants. The list just goes.
Titan got the rights.
Yeah.
Because the actual Philip K. Dick written. I'll say written, meaning they just took it straight from the book. Comic series are published by Boom.
And this is one of the weird things about licensees or licensing major IPs like this. They rarely turn out well because you have to pay so much for the license that you don't, I'm guessing, seem to not have much left over for the writers and the artists. Like they get the license and they crank it out at the same time as a film is being released or a special edition of the DVD with a lot of fanfares being released. You know what I'm talking about here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and Titan's been pretty decent with some of their stuff.
Like, I would really like this. I would love to see this done well. Like, I had never really stopped to think about, like, until we were talking about it last night, guys, about Blade Runner as a universe. Like, you know, Cynical Lindsay says a Blade Runner series on game, and Vortex says a lore rich universe. Damn right it is. And then a whole bunch of ones popped up. Yeah, what a great IP to be exploited for expansion. Like, when you get Aliens, there's been a lot more Aliens comics than there have been Blade Runner.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But that's actually kind of limited if you think about it. What can you really do? You have to do slasher in space, and I've read some of them that have been good, some of them not so good. I've read 3 different ones in the past couple of weeks, actually, because I just got a hold of them. Some of them were okay. Usually it's, you know, colonial Marines and, you know, the Space Marines inside of the Aliens universe, and a lot of references to what's the company's name?
Wayland Yutani.
Yes. like a lot of references to like kind of like corporate politics and things like that. And they still make it work, is my point. And there isn't, in my opinion, as much to work with as there is in Blade Runner. There's a hell of a lot more to work with in Blade Runner in that universe.
Yeah, I agree. I will say this though. Even Aliens is not immune to the social justice influence in comic books nowadays.
Yeah, Aliens Resistance was all kinds of SJW Mary Sue nonsense.
There was one that I was reading. There's some bits in it that are good. Right here, this comic.
Oh, hold on.
Aliens Defiance.
There we go.
Like this comic, it was okay at first, and then it starts getting into it. The fact that it's a black woman, and she has to bring up the fact that she's a black woman, and then they have to keep on bringing up the fact that she's a disabled black woman, and then they have to keep on bringing up the fact that she's going against the Weyland-Yutani Corporation and is oppressed because she's a black disabled woman. Shut the fuck up! She's fighting aliens! Why do you have to make it about social justice? Oh my god, are you serious?
Brian Wood is a huge SJW.
I was about to ask, do you know anything about the writer? And yeah, that's predictable based upon who the writer is. Yeah.
The Resistance one I just mentioned is a follow-up to Defiance. And it takes that black chick, I think her name is Hendrix, and she teams up with Ripley, and it is just a big SJW hug fest. But Brian Wood also wrote that, and he wrote the RoboCop miniseries that was out last year. It started out, the first issue was pretty good, and then it got real SJW pretty, especially by the last issue. So he has a real bad habit of that.
You know what? Frosted Glass makes a good point and a good joke here. You try to make a good Blade Runner comic, but before you know it, the rights have expired, like tears in the rain.
Pretty much. Titan's got some good properties. They've got Tank Girl. They've got Doctor Who. They've got a bunch of the noir stuff, like the Mickey Spillane.
They got Mickey Spillane.
Yeah, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, The Raid, Robotech. They had Elric for a little while, and
that's right.
Some of the 40K stuff, Assassin's Creed. But they did some. They did that Death Watch book that I recommended on here. So they've done some decent material. There's some of the new Doctor Who stuff with the new Doctor is garbage, but they've got a pretty decent track record of not being horrible.
See, it makes me wonder though, because I mean, there's a lot of crossover between Titan and Boom. I'm looking right now at some of the Elric stuff that I have downloaded, like, because it's really hard to find any of those books. Elric is one of my favorite fantasy novel series. You know, Elric and Melnibone. Written by Michael Moorcock. It's one of my favorite fantasy characters, right? But he's like they've made comic book adaptations of Elric so many times. Like here's one that I found that's published by DC.
Yeah.
Really? And then there's others that I found that are Boom. So it's really weird because like I actually have in front of me the Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, but that was published through Boom. So it seems like Boom and Titan are like, I don't, maybe they're part of the same company. I don't know.
Well, if they're not, they've got a weird rivalry because one of them will get the film rights and somebody will get the rights from the owners of the book rights.
Yeah.
Because like the Philip K. Dick rights are completely separate from the movie Blade Runner rights.
Yeah. Huh.
So that might be like the new DC Marvel rivalry, which should be pretty interesting because they go back and forth on the Games Workshop stuff quite a bit.
Yeah. I do know that I have stuff from both Titan and Boom that were published for Warhammer.
Yeah.
A couple of the pitches I had back in Chapter Approved were from either one of them.
Yeah, I can't find anything on if they're subsidiaries of the same company or what, but whatever. As long as they're producing good books, I'll buy them.
Right. Yeah.
So I didn't
Yeah,
want to talk about this just because this article is super short and I just want to see what they have to say about it and show you some of the character designs that they've come up with for this series, which are interesting. And one thing I did want to say about it is that you got Deckard here, Harrison Ford's character. He doesn't need to be the center of it for Blade Runner. Blade Runner, the universe is so lived in and so expansive. Deckard is just a character within it, you know?
Yeah.
And you've seen the movie, you're of course aware of that. That's what I mean when I say it's okay. He's just one Blade Runner. They make that clear. There could be, I'm just saying, like this, the possibilities abound, man. So it just Titan Comics and Alcon Media Group announced that a brand new Blade Runner comic book series, Blade Runner 2019. And for those who don't remember, 2019 is the year that the original Blade Runner is based in, I believe. The timestamp at the beginning of the film. The series will be written by Blade Runner 2049 screenwriter Michael Green. Really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, who wrote Logan, and Mike Johnson, Star Trek, Superman, Batman. Andreas Gunano, Justice League Dark Captain America, will be on art duties. You have my interest. It's like, I mean, shit, where'd you get the money to hire these people? Fucking Titan, this is great. The series will take place during the time from the original Blade Runner film, but will focus primarily on a new set of characters and situations. One of the new characters that will be featured is Ash, a female Blade Runner. Titan released new character sketches of the 5 characters, including Ash. And there are their sketches right there. Oh, this is great. Look how crazy they look. Okay, the skin along the bone are. Quote, I was 19 when I first saw Blade Runner, and I left the cinema dazed and stunned, stated Titan editor David Leitch. Frankly, it blew my little art school mind, so the opportunity to work on this new comic set in that same world is an absolute thrill and honor. We're excited about exploring and expanding the Blade Runner universe, said Alcon's director of publishing, Jeff Connor. The 2019 setting provides a broad canvas for the creative team to present fresh stories and compelling characters. Titan and Alcon Media are planning for more Blade Runner partnerships starting this new series, quote, is part of a line of original comics and graphic novels by Alcon Media and Titan, which will add to the expanding canon of this celebrated science fiction world. Blade Runner 2019 is expected to launch sometime this summer. I've got my fingers crossed, guys. Don't fuck up. Like, so many things fuck up with comic books in current year. Okay, fine. You want your main character to be female? This Ash character, her character design looks like it totally fits in with the universe. Fine, go ahead. Just make her a person, you know? Like, make her have characteristics. Don't make her a Mary Sue. Have her be interesting. Have all of these other characters not constantly affirming her feelings. You know, it's fine if the main character is a female. Great, good. Do that. Just make it good. Whatever.
Well, you want a plot too? But we already gave you a female character.
Right. Oh, Peter's off to work. Take it easy, everyone. Thanks for the birthday wishes. Anytime, Peter. Happy birthday again.
Have fun at work.
So
yeah, that looks good.
Say it again.
It's coming out this summer?
Yes. Yeah. It will launch this summer, which is, and I'm excited at the idea that it's not just like one series they're doing, but a series of comics, including a number of one-shot graphic novels. That's okay. Cool. You guys got the license, and it looks like you went to town. I mean, great creative team from All Outward Signs, and it sounds like you're deadly serious about it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I say, I actually do plan on trying my hand at a long-form edit video too. I've been toying with the idea of doing a whole series retrospect. I've got, of course, 2049 and the original Blade Runner theatrical release on DVD. I also have Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, the book, and all of the comics for Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep published by Boom Studios. And I was thinking of maybe, taking my hand, trying my hand at going through all of that material and comparing and contrasting all of it and giving my thoughts on it as a long form video. Let me know in the chat if that'd be something you'd be interested in seeing.
Well, I'm not going to type it in chat, but I'm interested.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I totally want to see you do a comparison across those things. I haven't read the Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep at all. Yeah, you should totally do it. I'm completely down for that. I think we should kind of go over. Oh, one quick thing that I wanted to talk about was Second Coming, this fucking awful comic that got kicked off of DC Vertigo, or got canceled off of DC Vertigo, I guess would be a better thing to say it. They find a new home at Ahoy Comics. Great. So yeah, that's over there now. We had talked about this before, how they got this Jesus returning to Earth and being completely disappointed by Christianity because we're still stuck in our version of what 90s edgy looks like. So we think that this is going to be successful. DC Vertigo, the DC imprint Vertigo, decided not to publish it. I guess because everything else was failing. So let's, after we've paid the artists and writers for this, let this fail too. And they gave the artist and writer the rights to their property, and they went and shopped it around and found a home for it at Ahoy Comics. Good luck, boys. It wasn't going to sell at DC Vertigo with actual promotion. You think it's going to fucking sell over there?
Well, Ahoy will have more realistic numbers because DC doesn't want to sell 1,000, 2,000 issue title. Whereas Ahoy, that's a big sale for them.
Good point. I mean, for a smaller venue, it is, but yeah, you're not going to get the promotion from. I mean, the only reason that CBR is talking about this comic right here is because it was on DC Vertigo.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So keep riding off of that. Like, keep talking to the show websites like CBR here and comicbook.com and whoever the fuck else. And I'm sure Mary Sue would promote you as well over there. It's like the comic they didn't want you to see, you know?
Yeah. Which means it'll have high sales for the first 1 or 2 issues, and then it'll be canceled by issue 6 because nobody's buying it.
I was gonna say, that's pretty much the MO for every comic, though, with very notable a few exceptions.
Before we move over to pitches, I did want to talk about. Oh, actually, get this, Jack. I had mentioned this before we went live here. You ran a comic book shop before.
Yep.
Remember this guy, Brian Hibbs? He talked at the Diamond Publishers Convention with retailers are there, and Diamond was there. Diamond representatives were there. Industry representatives were there, and he gave that really, really scathing opinion on the state of the industry.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you read through it? His actual speech?
I read part of it. I didn't read all of his 10-point plan.
Well, it
didn't look like a 10-point plan. It looked like a 30-point plan.
It is lengthy. Frankly, you're not wrong. See, this is why you have script block, guys. Yeah. Shit pops up that you don't want to see, and it doesn't allow it to pop all the way up.
Founding into comics, I like your site, but good God, get rid of that Justice League trailer fucking ad already. Good Lord.
Is that what that was?
Yes. Movie's already come and gone, dude.
Yeah, bounding into comics is awesome, but his 10-point plan is it's very much aimed, like, you can tell who his audience is, and he's speaking directly to his audience. It is not meant for consumers to read initially, because it's using a lot of inside baseball publishers and retail store owners references. Like, there's too many SKUs. Stop mixing SKUs, as he says in number 1, for things like minimum orders and chart reporting. It's like, what are you talking about? You really need to read between the lines and kind of understand it. But things in reading through it that caught my interest was, God, Diamond and the publishers, especially DC and Marvel, and Marvel particularly, it's games of shifting stuff around. It's mind-blowing, the bullshit that they pull.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if you want to order this SKU, like this given comic book series, they bundle SKUs together, so you have to buy this many of this issue. If you want to buy this many, if you want to buy any of this completely unrelated other issue, that's amazing that they do that to me.
What they used to do and what they still do, from what I know plenty of people that run comic shops because I spend a lot of money on comic books, obviously. What they did during Civil War, they're still doing with Doomsday Clock. What they would do is you would pre-order several months in advance for an issue that's solicited. So let's say I'm going to order issue 2 of Doomsday Clock. I ordered that, and it's supposed to be out in 2 months, right? Well, then they delay it.
Right.
But I'm already locked in for that number. So if I ordered 50 copies and it's delayed 2 months, half the people that wanted to buy it aren't going to buy it now because it's delayed and they don't want to wait. So I'm stuck with those because I can't return them.
Wow.
So I'm locked in on those numbers. That's what a lot of people complain about. Plus, like this new War of the Realms, you have to buy issues 1 and 2 before either of them have hit the stands. So you don't know if issue 1 is going to sell the numbers you're ordering, and you have to blindly order 1 and 2 together, and then order issue 3 before issue 1 has even come out, because 1 and 2 are coming out in the same month. So if you order 20 copies, you don't know if you're going to sell 20 copies. And then you're already locked in for 60 books now because you ordered issue 1, issue 2, and issue 3 before issue 1 even hit the stands. So you can't do any tracking on your sales to see where that's gone. It's just throwing good money after bad.
The amount of, without a true number 8 here is without a truly exceptional and out of the ordinary reason. Every comic should be listed in previews for the initial order. Comics that get listed for the first time after that would be 100% returnable.
They'll never do that.
I hear you. Wait till you hear number 10. Talk about the one they'll never, ever do in a million years. Yeah, I think it's a great suggestion because it would be, you need to be responsible for the bullshit you're pulling, and you're making us, the retailers, responsible for the bullshit you're pulling. Yep. When it doesn't go well. Listen to number 10. Finally, I call for the first 3 issues of any new series to be fully, no fee, no hoop, returnable to all publishers. This includes one-shots and miniseries. The only way I see to encourage publishers to be cautious and sober about what they put onto the market and how they promote it is to make sure there is a financial incentive to do so. And I think that returns are the mechanism with which to do that, where we all are sharing skin in the game.
That won't happen strictly because of Marvel. Marvel cannot afford to return any books.
And especially on number 1s that they restart a million times over and over just to oversell those number 1s, because number 1s will always sell more, and they overship them and they promote the fuck out of them. And in the end, it's like, listen, you're the one taking a risk by restarting a series and assuming that everybody wants to read it, restart it. Because you got some brilliant new editorial ideas on the direction to take the series. Captain Marvel canceled over and over again, restarted over and over again. We're going to make this character work. We're going to shove it down readers' throats until they, we're going to shove it down retailers' throats and make them responsible for getting consumers to buy it. Right?
Yeah. One of the games they play with this is, all right, we want to pump Champions this month, right? So if you buy 10 issues of the X-Men, you get an extra 5% off Champions. But if you don't buy any X-Men, or you just want the X-Men, the price goes up. Or they'll pull this thing where you have to order some Champions with your X-Men in order to get a specific rare cover. Shit like that.
Yeah.
It's very irritating to try and order anything from, especially Marvel these days.
If you've got brilliant new ideas, what you want to do, like I agree with you, like Marvel would be like the one that would be the least likely to go. There's no way that's ever going to happen. Like number 10, like
books, and they're too low end.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
They have like 130 titles out right now.
Yeah,
they can't afford to take that kind of hit because a lot of the books just aren't selling.
Going up here, if you look at one of the previous ones, I forget which one it is that there are way too many SKUs on the market. It's ridiculous, and I don't blame him for saying that. It's where does he say that?
Well, that's mostly Marvel's doing. They're doing a lot of one-shots and all these event books with the mini series that tie into the event.
I love the way he mentions it. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to find it here really quick.
Oh.
Or sit silently. It's fine.
Well, I'm trying to think of something to say. When you order from Marvel, if you order a large enough amount, you get a good discount. But their basic rate is 35%. That's most comic books. Your shop is only making 35% off of each book if they're ordering the minimum. Now, the more you order, the cheaper it gets. DC was always better about giving you a better discount than Marvel. And because theirs is tiered, if you order $300, you got 40% off, stuff like that. Whereas Marvel, it was like $600 or $700 to get 40% off. So it was never a good. You're not making a lot of money off of it.
Brian Hibbs, this individual, for those of you who don't know, owns 3 popular and successful comic book shops in the Bay Area on the West Coast. But popular and successful, I mean, this guy's obviously feeling the squeeze and really hard in the industry. And it's like, so he's not talking out of his ass when he makes these suggestions. And when he says things, here it is, that are this scathing. There is also plainly entirely too many SKUs, individual series, on the market. At the front process, how do we enter a world where they're offering us 12 different Spider-Man branded comics in a single 4-week period?
Mm-hmm.
When exactly did we cross the Rubicon that suggested that bi-weekly or faster production was the right way to make comics? How customers actually want to purchase comics? Please listen. We are destroying and devaluing our blue chip stocks rather than drawing in the vast muggle audience to purchase our products. Publishers are treating customers as super fans who are bottomless ATM machines. But every working retailer in this room can tell you that that doesn't match the reality of our customers. The people who want or can even afford the endless barrage of material dumping down the pipeline is narrowing and hollowing out month after month. And soon it's going to hit a number that is probably not sustainable for any of us. I can still clearly remember the days when I couldn't order less than 10 copies of anything that Marvel might produce. I'm even talking star comics like Planetary and Royal Roy. If it had the Marvel logo on it, it sold. But today at my store, there's almost a quarter of Marvel's output from month to month. I no longer have any customer interest on, and even shelf a single copy of it. A quarter of Marvel's material he doesn't even shelf because there's no interest in it.
Higher than that.
Yeah. I love this. I say to you, we do not need plans or programs that are aimed at selling more comics to the same customers. They can't really afford and don't want to buy any more titles. Our focus as an industry should be on making our periodical releases more attractive to new readers and to grow our base, not simply exploit the existing one.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's what Marvel keeps trying. The problem is that they're going for a phantom audience that doesn't exist.
Now, it's funny you say that, because in my mind, that scathing last line, we do not need any more plans or programs that are aimed at selling. In other words, number ones in all the games and all the fucking shell bullshit that they're doing, shifting shit around that Jack was talking about, that he had experienced, and the stuff that his 10-point program is aimed at stopping, alleviating, or ameliorating by making publishers and Diamond, the distributors, partially responsible, or at least having some kind of financial incentive to not fuck around as much. Right? Those are the points of his 10-point program, was to get at large parts of it. But when you read this most scathing part, I say to you, we not need any more plans or programs. I don't believe for a second that any of them heard any further than our focus as an industry should be making periodical releases that are more attractive to new customers and grow our base. I'm willing to bet you every single person in the room that was from one of the big two said, oh, some more social justice comics for the phantom audience that we believe of millennials that want to hear about social justice all day long. And they left the room and didn't think about anything else.
I'd be willing to bet they already know what the problems are. They just don't care.
I was going to say, why don't they just look at what sells and why it sells and keep doing more of that?
Because ideology is more important.
Well, but it's playing for the short money to the point where you realize that you just paid your rent with a credit card that was, and now it's $1 away from being maxed out. What are you going to do next month? Well, my ideology though. I mean, but seriously, you're not gonna be able to pay your rent next month. Well, like, how do you figure that? I'm not even saying you're wrong. It's just, what the fuck?
No, that's what we call a future Jack problem. That's a problem later that month. Serious. That's how they plan these things. Because, like, I bought a copy of Age of X-Man Prisoner X because my comic shop one of them got a big stack of them that weren't on their manifest. They never ordered, like a huge stack. It was like 30 copies sitting there when I walked in. And they had them for half off. He's like, I didn't order them, but I got to pay for the shipping. I have to sell a couple of these. So I bought one just to kind of, give him the $2. And it was atrocious. Like, it was one of the worst comics I've ever read because really nothing happened. But that's what Marvel's doing. They're pumping out a bunch of stuff on the shotgun theory that eventually you'll hit something if you get a wide enough spread. They don't need to be successful. They don't need to show like a positive income. They just have to level off. So they lower quality, hire cheaper writers and artists, and it shows. And they try and pump out these special event things so that the whales will come in and buy them. Whales are speculators and people that spend a bunch of money on comics.
Right.
And they're banking on those people, the diehard loyalists and the speculators. They don't think that's going to dry up. They really don't. They think that the other books are for the phantom audience that they think are going to be drawn in, but they're targeting specific niche things for the whales because they know those will sell. And they don't give a damn about the shops. They don't give a damn about what the customer says. It's very obvious they don't care.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Well, there's our black pill for the week. Jesus.
It's been a black pill kind of time.
Yeah.
The guy's right. I mean, Marvel can't financially afford to have this stuff come back. That's why they don't do returnability. DC occasionally will, like they did with Borderlands. They said you can return those. But even they don't do it very often because they know some of their books are garbage and they can't afford to take that hit. What they need to do is lower the quality of paper, put it back on newsprint, and lower the cover price. But nobody's willing to do that.
Wow.
Yeah, I agree with the whole lowering the cover price. It's getting ridiculous.
Yeah, nobody's buying an $8 X-Men book. The one comic shop I go to, the guy had like 5 copies left. He's like, yeah, I've reduced orders on all X titles because of this one book, because I got stuck with too many of them, and I'm sick of it. So he's only ordering one extra copy above pre-orders. So if it's not on your pull list and you didn't order it out of previews, he's got one copy on the shelf for everyone to fight over because he just can't afford the space.
Jesus.
Makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah, because your retail space is massively important when you're running a shop. Every square foot is a set amount of your rent. And you can't afford to have 100 titles there that aren't selling, taking up space. So you've got to throw them in a discount bin and sell them for 50 cents or whatever. And get whatever you can back out of them. So, yeah, that's why a lot of people are cutting back on their orders, which makes Marvel dig even deeper into the well of desperation because they have no ideas and they don't know what they're doing. So they try more gimmicks and more events. That's why if you look at Conan, it's on issue 4, but the series hasn't been out for 4 months. What they've been doing is publishing it every 3 weeks. So you have to order issues 1 and 2 together before issue 1 comes out. You have to, and then by then you're ordering issue, I think 4 was being ordered before issue 1 ever hit the stands. And they pull these games all the time. That's no, James, I won't share my black pills. But that's what's really hurting the ordering side on the shops, because they've got to order this product that they don't know if it's going to be dead product. And too many of the writers, especially at Marvel, are incredibly inconsistent with the quality of their work. I mean, we've seen even Mariko Tamaki have one good book out, and you're like, oh, well, that issue was good. And you pick up another one, and it's back to sitting around talking about food. You can't make a prediction based on that.
But then the thing that kills me is that all of this stuff is going on, all this crap is happening, but then you go over to Twitter and it's a whole bunch of comic pros that are so proud to call themselves comic pros, talking about how awesome the industry is, how great they are, and how all the people are complaining you don't know what it's like being a pro because we're so awesome and we write all these great stories and the great fans that love us. And it's like, it's a dwindling market. And the people that are actually buying your comics are the people that you're insulting on a daily basis. What the ever loving fuck is wrong with you?
Well, there's two reasons they do that. One is you can never admit that your industry's not doing well because that creates the perception that it's dying, and then people will just avoid it. It's just an old marketing tactic. It's a known thing that if you're going out of business, you don't tell people you're going out of business until it's finalized.
Yeah.
Until the out of business signs are up, because then people just be like, oh, we'll just wait.
And Cynical Lindsay says, it's no wonder there's a lot of comic book shops going out of business. Yeah. And it's going to be more and more, but you're going to get, I guess it's in line with exactly what you're saying, Jack, that why else at South by Southwest would you have a panel where CB Cebulski and Joe Quesada are showing up talking about, oh my God, aren't we awesome that we supply all of these intellectual properties and characters for these movies that are making so much money? Was there one person who had a pair of balls at that South by Southwest that stuck their hand up and asked, yeah, how is the industry that you work in doing, guys?
No, because they went to a safe location. South by Southwest is an incredibly social justice oriented event. And that's a safe audience for them because they'll get the back pats even if they don't get the money.
Right. Right. No, you're not wrong.
And another problem is that most people that open comic shops don't have a business background, so they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They mix their personal money in with their shop money, or they'll buy their own comics, which is very, very often a cause of stores going out of business. Because when I opened my shop, I went to a retailer summit, and they were giving seminars, and you got free comics for going to the seminars. So, of course, I went to get the free comics. And one of the first things they said at 3 different seminars in one day was, do not buy your own comics with the shop money. Buy them at a discount or pay for them at the cost, but never just give yourself free comics. If you have to tell people that, you're doing it wrong. Even drug dealers know you don't do your own product.
So, and that's why Jesse Pinkman didn't last very long until he started cooking.
Exactly. Exactly. So you have people that don't really understand how business works opening shops up, and then they get in over their head, and they fall prey to these tactics that companies like Marvel and DC are doing, where they play these games and have all these special events and nonsense, and they fall for them because they're new. That's why most shops go out of business within 2 years, because they don't know how to track their sales. They don't know how to order product. They don't know what's going to sell and what isn't. If you're not tracking what books you're selling every week, you're going to go out of business real fast, because there's too much potential to have a lot of money sunk into a title that's not going anywhere.
Yeah. See,
all right.
Thing about this,
all right. Final thoughts on the depleting, saddening state of the industry that produces the products we love so much, but is killing itself because it's run by morons. Before we move on to comic book pitches, what do you think, Quiz?
The only thing that I think that is a fix that I think could be an immediate sort of showing results, right, would be to cut the bullshit minimum order thing. Let people order only one book of each of the comics and fuck off with the alternate covers.
Yeah, variant covers. That's one of the most awful gimmicks that's still out there.
Yeah, stop that shit. Let stores order only one copy of a book, and then if it sells, have it reprinted. I mean, it's not like the old days where they had to keep the master, pages to reprint. Now all of that shit is digital. It's taking up hard drive space. It's really easy to reproduce.
Yep.
Or reprint. That kind of shit. It's trying to maintain tradition, but at the same time using an extremely archaic method that sold really well when comics were selling really well. It's ridiculous, and it's not evolving with the times.
Yeah, they're definitely backward on that. What I hate is variant covers are just really a trick to get you to buy the same issue twice.
Yeah.
Accidentally. It's not even an on purpose thing anymore, because now a lot of them do it 50-50. So you can get either cover, and they want you to buy both of them, of course, but then they give you a third cover for 25 if you order 25. Then you get a fourth cover if you order 50. Then there's the retailer incentive cover at 100.
But come on,
There's
cat covers. Everyone wanted the cat covers.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, but there's a point where it's ridiculous, and like we saw with Action Comics 1000, there were 20 some covers for that, and they're going to do the same thing with Detective 1000.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, for big milestones like that, I think it could be okay, but don't do this whole the incentives. Just let people order one of each variant.
Yeah, I agree. I really think they need to go to Alternative's model and go back to newsprint and drop the price way down. They would sell way more product that way.
Yeah,
you make it up on volume.
Like the thing about it is, I've only got three items on my polls now. I've got Trinity was on my poll, but then that series concluded a while ago. So I had Trinity, Harley Quinn, Green Arrow, and Wildstorm. And all of those comics now are almost $4.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, and event books are now $8. Like they had X-Men, I think it was number 11 was $8. Number 11. Why?
Cynical Lindsay says here, if they sold a variant cover as a separate art sheet, I'd be cool with that. Yeah, but you see the problem with what you suggested there, right? Is it like you want a cool pinup picture? Who doesn't? Because the art is often really good for variant covers. They do something interesting on them, but they want you to buy the comic over again. That's why they put the different, obviously everybody knows, that's why they put the different wrapper on it. They've already paid the artist and the writer and the inker and the letterers and everybody else who worked on it. So why not sell the same item 2, 3, 4, 11, 35 times? And it's like, yeah, I get you. You want that cool piece of art, but they're never going to sell it as a separate thing when they can sell their comics over and over and over again.
That would be fine if they changed the cover on the second printing. And the third printing,
right?
Totally different cover too, as long as it says that it's a second or third printing. That's how they used to do it. It'd say reprint on it. They haven't done that in ages, and they won't tell you have to look inside. And it's a scam to get you to impulse shop something that you've already purchased. That's all it is, and it's sickening. And at $4 a piece, you're not going to get any new people in there. How often do you see somebody new at the comic shop? It's very, very rare.
It's because it's all white males in there, man. What the fuck?
Yeah, I know, right? God.
But I don't like that you can't bring in new customers without pointing them to the discount bin and saying, go through that and look for something you like. Because they're not going to come in and try out a book. They might spend $20 that first time they come in, but if they don't like those 4 comics or 5 comics they picked up, they're never coming back, because they'll be like, what a waste of money.
You know, well, right? When you blow what, $12 to get what, 3 comics?
Yeah, if you're lucky.
You know what I mean? Like and if you better really have liked 2 of the 3 of them to go back, because $12 is a lot to fucking blow on 3 comics. And notice how often, you know, when we're saying like final thoughts and stuff, we end up recommending like buy used collected editions, because you're getting like massive bang for your buck that way. And it's because I don't want people from this audience like hearing like, oh, well, you know, go buy this comic for $8 and it turns out to be something they don't like. Oh my God, I don't want to be responsible for that. But, you know, it's experimenting with used stuff, bargain bin stuff. Oh, alternate comics. God, there's a great way to try your hand at comics to see what you think. Different stories, different characters. It's a great way to do it.
Yeah, here's their website. Check them out. I like Alterna a lot. They do good stuff, especially for $1.50. Even if you don't particularly love that story, it's only $1.50.
Yeah.
They're making a profit. So there's obviously a way to do it. I mean, it's the same paper quality as most inserts that you get with your newspaper for like advertising for your Kroger's and your Piggly Wigglies and whatnots, wherever you are. So yeah, it's not the highest quality paper, but it is serviceable. And when they reprint it in trade paperback, it'll be on higher grade paper. So if you like it and you want to get it in a collected edition, you can do that later.
That was so Midwestern, by the way.
I know, right?
Who else outside of like the fucking tri-state area of Ohio and Illinois knows what the fuck a Piggly Wiggly or a Kroger is?
I know what a Piggly Wiggly is, and I don't live there. In any case, gentlemen, time to move on to comic book pitches. Who would like to go first?
I'll go first.
Will you? All right, then. Let me just present you.
Hold on, let me get to my folder here. I am going to pitch a book from 1982, written by Roger Stern with art by John Romita.
Senior?
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Yeah, Junior would have been a...
Amazing Spider-Man 229 and 230. Spider-Man fights the Juggernaut.
Nice.
Nothing can stop the Juggernaut.
It's true. Oh, man, he has a heck of a time with him, too. But it's great watching Spider-Man, whose powers are completely not suited to fighting somebody that the X-Men has trouble with. Fight the Juggernaut. And Madam Web gets hurt, so Spider-Man intervenes. And, of course, he comes across the Juggernaut on the scene. And it just goes to hell really fast. It's a great story. Roger Stern was a great Spider-Man author. And these are some of my favorite era of books. And this is they actually adapted this 2-issue story into one of the animated series years later. So you will see some familiar aspects of this. But the way he defeats the Juggernaut's great. You can find these reprinted, and you can find the originals fairly cheap, but it's a great storyline. I highly recommend it. It's a wonderful story, and it's how Spider-Man should be written. That's all I got.
No, that's all I got. Ah, that was enough for me. I mean, of course, I know what happens in that issue. So you're kind of preaching to the choir here. I'm sold. So, Quiz, would you like to go next, or shall I?
I can go.
Yeah.
My pitch is written by John Layman, art by Fabino Reves, June Chung, colorist, VC's Randy Gentile, letterer. Robert Kirkman is a consultant. Okay. My pitch is... Ta-da. Marvel Zombies versus the Army of Darkness.
Okay.
Yes, this is the story of Ash Williams from Evil Dead finding his way into the world of Marvel Zombies.
I've got a copy of this somewhere.
It's pretty great. Like, as soon as he gets into this world, like it's actually building off of an earlier Army of Darkness story where Ash and the entire population of that like multiverse Earth ascend to heaven, but in the like the middle bit of it, the Sentry, who's already Sentinel, no, not Sentinel, Sentry, yeah, the Sentry, who's already a zombie, starts attacking the random people that are ascending to heaven. And so Ash gets sent back to Earth, but into this Earth that's the Marvel Earth. So you got right here Thunderball fighting Daredevil, and Ash is starting to fight a Deadite while those two are going at it. And then Ash gets punched in the head by Daredevil, so he helps Thunderball. And yeah, everything's cool, right? Until he finds out that it's a supervillain. So he goes to the Avengers for help. And look at fucking Thor down here. Fucking asshole bending the boomstick. What an asshole. But yeah, it's actually a really funny book. I won't go into the long and short of it, but the Necronomicon Ex Mortis falls into the hands of Victor Von Doom. So yeah, the Deadites invading the Marvel Universe is all Doom's fault.
It's always Doom when they can't think of it. It was like Marvel Ultimates. You know, they needed somebody who was behind it all. It was Doom. I can understand why. Greatest villain ever.
I love that comic. The issue 3 cover is probably the most iconic of it. Here, let me find it real quick.
So there's like legit good comedy in it.
Oh yes, it's very funny. It's very Army of, well, okay. Notice here it's the Army of Darkness, not Evil Dead. So they weren't marketing it as a horror book. It's a comedy book. But yeah, it's Marvel Zombies. This is an extremely iconic cover. I've seen this all around everywhere. But yeah, this is it's a good book. It's a good book. I love it. Yeah.
Okay. I want to read that. I need some more laughs in my life, man. I'm reading Looney Tunes comics to get laughs because, God, it's all bad dad jokes and jokes about like food in current Marvel comics. You guys know what I'm talking about. Like they think they're funny and they're not. Gail Simone, you haven't told a good joke in years. Stop.
And she never will.
So you've really sold that one. Sold, super sold, ultra sold, sold supreme. Good pitch, Quiz. I like it. The comic I am pitching this week, as you guys know, I have been reading Moon Knight and trying to track my way through the stories. And in reading some of the recent stuff where it's like gone to hell, I decided to go back. I'm kind of hopping around because they're Marvel comics and they keep restarting everything because that's how they roll, right? So my pitch is from the, I don't know, 7th volume of Moon Knight. It's the way you track it is by, as you can see down here, Houston and Finch. They're the main two creative people behind it. That's Charlie Houston and David Finch. Houston doing the writing, Finch doing the art. This started in 2006 and ran to 2009. It ran for 30 issues plus 1 annual. It was, the reason why I'm pitching this is because you'll see with the way that it looks. I mean, look at this. It's dark. There's people driving around, shooting it out, gangsters with guns. Moon Knight gets involved. Oh, hell yeah. Look at the detail. Look at the heavy inking. Nary a digital drawing board was used. You know what I'm talking about? It's grim. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm going to kick my way in through the window. Look at the motion lines and everything. Just fantastic art. Like it just, David Finch. Yes. This man's like a fucking, oh, yes. He draws heroes like heroes. They're big, they're muscular, they're badasses. They're going to get done what they need to get done. The story is awesome. It matches the art. It is fucking epic. Comes all the way. I don't know how much of this story to tell. What I'm going to do is pitch the storyline called The Bottom, which is, this is from the collected edition of it. You can buy it as a collected edition either at Comixology as The Bottom or the first 4 issues that arc takes place over from the 2006 Moon Knight series by Houston and Finch. It is incredible, and I don't want to go any further than the page that I just did because spoilers will result. The best way that I can explain it without ruining anything is that there is a massive turnaround that's seriously unexpected at the end of the first issue. Yes, this absolutely is Moon Knight. This is Mark Spector here, as you see him doing what he's doing, but he is not who you think he is. He is a broken hero. That's the best way that I want to explain it without spoiling anything. He has to build himself up back to being Moon Knight because he's not who you think he is here, even though this is actually Mark Spector as Moon Knight as presented here. I know that's all like mysterious and what the hell are you talking about? Read the comic. You're going to love it. It's, yeah, is it very noir? Not in the sense of detective fiction. It is personal tragedy sense of it. He is a tragic, Mark Spector is absolutely a tragic character in this storyline, and he has sympathy for no one because of what he's been through. He's gotten to the bottom is a great line. Like, his alcoholism and prescription drug abuse has gone insane, and he's got to work himself back up out of it. Great storyline. All 30 issues. I've only read up to issue 20. I spot read it back in the day, like an issue here, an issue there. I didn't read it consecutively, but I'm loving it so far. I can't recommend this first story arc, The Bottom, enough. Fuck. David Finch's art is awesome. It's just such a breath of fresh air compared to the Tumblr trash that you end up dealing with. I mean, look at all, look, backgrounds, buildings. He's proper somewhere. Yeah, right? The perspective lines that go places. There's shadows on things. It's a world. Like, thank you, Finch. You're awesome. In any case, that's my pitch. Moon Knight 2006, The Bottom. Best bought as a collected edition at this point.
And I say I found the panel in Marvel Zombies versus Army of Darkness, where Moon Knight is a zombie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Let's see. Cool. Ryan Walters asks, is this after he got injured and couldn't be Moon Knight for a while? Maybe. He's I was trying to hint when I said broken hero, Walters. Jesus. But yeah, it is. It's a man working himself back up. It's a tragic story, but it's a highly redemptive story at that. Because as your boy Zach was pointing out in his conversation with Ethan Van Sciver the other day, one of the critical things that's missing of heroes of the current year is struggle.
Yeah. When
you have a Mary Sue, when you have a Carl Manvers, who just doesn't have to fight against anything. The only thing she's fighting against is the misogyny she dealt with in her past. But everything else can just be blown up with a plasma beam at will. There's no effort in anything. There's no mission. The only thing that she has, the only struggle is to affirm her own feelings. Or any character that's that lame. I mean, that's what Kamala Khan deals with. That her struggle is the ignorance of those around her. You know what I mean? No. Heroes have to, like, Spider-Man goes through a struggle. You know what I mean? Nothing in his life ever fucking works. You know what I mean? The poor bastard, right? Captain America is always finding himself at odds with things. You know what I mean? What am I going to do? So on. Iron Man has his struggles, whether it's alcoholism or something else. But yeah, Moon Knight, physical struggles, mental health struggles with this guy. Yeah. 2006 Moon Knight, 1-30. Great run so far. Just loving it. So there it is. Another issue or another episode in the can. So we do have a lot of good things on the horizon now that Quiz has, I'm going to argue, committed himself to a Blade Runner retrospective, which frankly I'm legit looking forward to. I want to see this.
All right.
Then other people in chat were saying that they did too. So now we're just going to pressure the fuck out of him and become annoyances to him until he does it. Oh, to everybody listening, please, by all means, hit that like button. To those listening in the future, feel free to hit that like button. And as always, please feel free to leave comments below. I do read them all, and I get a chance to respond to most, if not all of them. I love hearing thoughts, opinions, ideas, suggestions, compliments, especially compliments, the whole 9 yards. Yeah, feel free to leave them. I get a big kick out of getting feedback on the series as it's going. We're on an upward trajectory. In terms of views and subs and shit like that, and we're loving the audience. You guys are great. So, Jack, Quiz, any final thoughts?
Give Alterna a try and go out and buy some comics.
Yeah, absolutely. Give Alterna a try. It's even though they're characters you like, if they're being written poorly, there's no point in paying mass amounts for stupid things. Give new things a try. I've read Alterna, and they're new characters to me, but hey, at least they're not like X-23 talking about how much she likes this dish or that dish, and then you get to the end of the comic and it's like, what the fuck happened? Oh, right, nothing.
Yeah, you can buy all of Alterna's books for less than the cost of 2 regular comics. So,
well, and Anna Amanat there, she needs her 6-figure salary, which is what you're paying for by buying Marvel. Don't kid yourself.
Right.
yeah.
I would say that we can be negative Nancy's a little bit on this show. It's coming from a place of love. We love comics. We love the way comics can be, but aren't. We would love to be active consumers and to stop talking about all of this shit and just read comics if it weren't for the fact that all of this stuff was happening. So in lieu of that, find something that you enjoy. Go out and read that. Doesn't matter who it is, doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if people agree. If you like Captain Marvel or Miss Marvel, go out and knock yourself out, man. Read more comic books.
Yeah, there's still a lot of good books out there.
And you know what? I really like the way there is still a lot of really good comic books out there. New stuff printed by other than the big two, back issues and stuff that we recommend. Absolutely don't listen to us like 100% of the way. I mean, we try and recommend things, and we pitch things we really think you're going to like and each other are going to like, because we're pitching to each other too. Mm-hmm. But I like the way you said that, Quiz. It's like, yeah, we can be negative Nancy's, but it does come from a place of love. We're not beating up on the state of the industry because we get a kick out of it. We do it with hung heads that it's this bad of a situation. It wasn't always this way, but there is still lots of good stuff out there. And we're not entirely negative after a look. Usagi Yojimbo is a plush buddy. How adorable.
Usagi Yojimbo.
Come on. How can you not melt? It's adorable.
I want one.
I know. I want one so bad. Look, he's got little swords. He's got his little hakama on and the top knot. Come on. Negative Nancy's my ass. We love this stuff. All right, guys. Have a good night.
Bye.